One is all you need. Yes. Work as a team, right? That's how it works.
Hey, hi.
One or two you want.
Water. What do they need to do?
Water.
And then just like.
Century 21. Go to YouTube.
Okay.
Search Soul.
Because I don't know who's talked to them or what they know. No worries.
Heather's so it's on YouTube. If you just go here, you search Century 21. It was awesome. And it pops up here with some shows live.
Okay.
Awesome. There's nobody watching.
All right, I'll make some calls, get them watching.
So
Other than.
Give them a call. Thanks.
So relatively
Now what would
So you guys can have time. Don't forget to sign in, please.
Brian too. Brian, you signed us in. Brian, just go right down.
What's up, Russ? Yeah, it is.
Well, at USAA, we keep track of all of these all the time. People come in, people don't come in. You come in, more leads, you don't, no leads.
Hey.
I'm absolutely kidding. Not that way. How's everybody doing with Zap so far? Zap training coming your way? Lots of fun. Yeah,
Can't remember your phone number.
All right.
Yep, I made the wrap.
Yeah.
You did already? Okay.
I know. I always have it up.
Okay.
I guess we'll let these guys
He's 17. He'll stay until 1 o'clock in the morning.
So
Did you attend the conference?
Oh, yeah.
Just signing.
Jeanette.
Okay. So
For the award. She's got the most
we'll
information.
double them up. You guys go with these?
I will just briefly address
Oh, I love that.
we get
Well, it's so,
So
brilliant idea. We can reach so many more ages.
yes, okay. So you can
Oh, that's great.
So he has turned his phone into a
Yeah, because the training, of course, you know, she talks about it. How many it was. It's great.
Thanks so much.
You gave the cards already? Yes. Work your cards. Work your cards.
She's
Oh, yeah. You gonna do an intro? Yeah.
I think there's only questions now.
Heather, did you get it set up so we can do the other location? Are we on the other location right now? Can they see us?
Live, yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll privatize it after. Yeah, you're all on.
How are you, ladies?
Okay. So, well, we're just kind of getting all set up. I just want to do a few introductions. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Really appreciate it. Okay.
You want me to get your attention?
Wanda? You ready? So feel free anytime to get up and go get a drink or whatever you want to do. That's fine. If we need to take a break. But
Every time you get up, it will cost you 1 lead.
1 lead?
Come on, I'm kidding. That's not going to happen either.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
So I'd like to say hi to our St. George people too, because they are getting on live with us. So thanks for attending. And I want to introduce Vince Carr. Vince is Director of Broker and Agent Operations for USAA. We're really excited to have him here. I have got Alex Richardson, who is Director of Business Development for yeah, okay. Yep. And then I've got Kemp Ward, Senior Business Development Advisor.
All that good stuff.
All right.
All that stuff.
All right. Anyway, we're really excited to hear from them today. We're going to turn the time over to Vince and kind of go from there. So thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you. And just to continue the introduction a little bit, Alex and I are kind of our counterparts. I'm on the Real Estate Rewards Network side of the house. Alex and his team are on the mortgage side of the house. So you'll hear a little bit from both of us today. Actually, Kemp's going to talk to you on the mortgage side. But really, what we're here to do, and for my team in particular, I'm not regularly the face that you'll necessarily see out here. I have Jeremiah Freilich, who is on my team, who's normally dealing with both the central and western regions with Cardis. So he's really going to be your point of contact for the Real Estate Rewards Network. But I take the opportunity to travel and take some of that load off of those guys too, to come out here and visit you all in the field. And Alex, anything you want to follow on?
Very similar events. I have a business development team of 6 individuals around the country. And so I manage those folks. I have one that is based in California. Kemp is based in Phoenix for me, covers one of the mountain states. I have an individual in Texas, covers Texas. Texas, big area for us. We are based in San Antonio, so it's a big area for us. I have an individual that is in Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, and then one in the DC market. And from a business development perspective, our job is we've got a couple different things we do, but the main thing for us and for your purposes today, it's to intertwine the mortgage company with our real estate firms that we provide leads to and then ultimately do business with, right? And help bridge some gaps that have been there over the years, right? And I think that's what I'll ask Kemp to come up today. He works with your particular office from a business development standpoint, which includes a lot of different things. He'll go through a lot of that today so you understand how we're set up and where the points of contact are, where the help is, and in general, just more about our mortgage company. How do we operate? And we'll be happy to take any questions you guys have. He'll start it off that way. But from a business development standpoint, in the mortgage business, we are looking to provide education and awareness to the agents that are part of the program. That is like our big mantra. That is what, I'll say in my opinion, we have been lacking and missing for a long time, right? So what is happening at the mortgage company? And then it goes the other way too, right? So what's happening out in the field that we need to know about internally? And that all just happens to be how we're set up, right, from a mortgage perspective. And so Kemp will touch on a lot of this for you guys today, all right? My other thing would be, please ask questions, and that's from Vince's perspective. We're out on the road doing a lot of these. There's nothing we haven't heard at this point. I mean, I can go through my little list of things that we know, right? Here's some hiccups. And then there's this great list of things that we do really, really well. So do not be shy. Your relocation directors and principals are great about bringing you all into this. They're also great about be nice to USAA. Don't say anything bad. It's all good. I'm telling you. I mean, honestly, it is fantastic because we want the feedback. We want to know what you're thinking, and gives us an opportunity to potentially take some things back that we didn't know about. So feel free to ask questions as you go through that, right? And so that's what Vince and I, we've got both teams, and that's what our folks are out there doing. Bringing us all a little bit closer. That's the objective, right? Helping you guys out. All right. So I'm going to sit down. Vince's going to take it over, and then when he's done, Kemp will get up and we'll continue our discussion. All right? Excellent. And if not, did anybody not get one of these? I'll hand them out to you now. Okay. Just a couple of them.
So last year, I was in a completely different role. We had a conference that we hosted in San Antonio last year where we invited everybody that was in the network to attend. I know that you all have a lot of different conferences. I know that Heather and one other from your office attended, is that correct?
Jeanette Davis.
Okay, so we had 2 people in attendance last year. One of the reasons why we stood up my new team this year was very much like Alex and his team are doing on the mortgage side. It's an opportunity for us to actually get out in the field, be in front of you, get your feedback, bring it back to USAA, and help you with the Real Estate Rewards Network program. By way of example, last year at the conference that was in San Antonio, we had roughly 280 agents in attendance at the conference. 220 of those agents were from Texas. 170 of those 220 were from San Antonio. So who did I hit with that conference was the San Antonio agents. With my team's about half the size of Alex. I have 2 folks that work for me, and we're just split up with the Cardis regions, Central and West, and then I've got Kenny Cano, who handles the Northeast and Southeast. We've been doing this for about 3 months now. As of today, with those of you that are in attendance today, we've already exceeded that 280 number, and we've also hit about 4 different regions around the country. So it does give us that opportunity to get better feedback from you all, and also to get out there and get in front of you. How many of you ever seen a USAA employee before, other than those that attended the conference before? How many of you are first off, how many are USAA members?
By the way, right?
USAA members?
Oh, yeah.
A handful? Can I ask where your membership came from? And anybody that has served themselves? One? Others from family members passed down? So I always use myself as an example. I'm a 29-year member of USAA. Before I got hired on at USAA 2+ years ago, the only time I ever saw a USAA employee was when I stood up my checking account when I graduated from officer training school in 1989. And so other than that, I never saw a USAA employee, never see anybody walking around wearing this. Alex and I both had these on today. I like to wear these every time I travel because when you are going through the airport, it never fails, except at 4 o'clock in the morning when I was at the airport today, because there's nobody else at the airport at that time. But somebody will always come up to you and talk to you, because this attracts people. It's one of the most recognized emblems around the United States. I think the number's like the 9th most recognized firm in the United States for USAA. So we are well recognized. So I always like to wear this because it does put us out there in front of our membership.
It's a little scary when you're trying to go into the bathroom or come out of the bathroom. And people are looking at you. Oh, I should have.
Not necessarily the case with Alex, but yeah. One of the things that I'm not going to go into great detail on this slide, but I like to focus on what our mission statement is. We are all about providing for the financial security of our members. That is our #1 priority at USAA. And that's why we rely on you to help our members with things like the AGR program, getting them enrolled into the Real Estate Rewards Network program when they are making a purchase or sale of the home. My parents are members. I've convinced my dad, who turned 80 this summer, to move to San Antonio, so they're in the process of it right now. So I keep telling them, don't forget to use Real Estate Rewards Network so that you get a kickback at the end to help you with the cost of the move, because that's what we're always trying to do is secure that financial security. The other thing that I want to focus on, though, is the core values: service, loyalty, honesty, and integrity. Coming from a military background myself, those align very much with all 4 of the branches of the service, with the core values that the military has. And one of the things that we really like to focus on is loyalty, brand loyalty. As I mentioned, we are about the 9th most recognized firm just from our logo across the United States. Our members are pretty fiercely loyal to USAA as a company. They're going to rely on USAA to provide them that financial security and use many different products. And Real Estate Rewards Network is one of the deepening products that we use with our members. So talking about our members, you're going to see some of these numbers here again shortly in another slide. Who do you think of when we talk about USAA memberships? Obviously, it's kind of up there on the slide. That's what you think of initially. Is the active and former military. I know I have some family members in here, cadets and midshipmen at any of the service academies, or going through ROTC, Reserve Officer Training Corps, are also members, and their families. As of last December, we're about 12.5 million members across the United States. And I'll talk a little bit more in detail on an upcoming slide about helping you to identify who those members are. 'Cause there's some challenges with that you don't always, it's not always easy to identify who a USAA member may be. The reason why I focus on that 12.4 million members though, if you look at what we did in real estate rewards in 2017, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. We did pretty well. We gave back nearly $60 million to members last year, helping with that financial security, as I mentioned. Over the past 25 years, we celebrated 25 years of the program, whether it was Movers Advantage or now the Real Estate Rewards Network program. $557 million over that period of time, roughly $1,200 back per member on average, and very, very high recommendation rate from members that have used the program, over 94%. Last year, just shy of 50,000 closings on both sides, purchase or sale of the home, were conducted in 2017. We estimate, just looking at national numbers from NAR, that if we look at that 12.4 million members of USAA, roughly 1 million are purchasing or selling a home in any single year. We only hit 48,850. So just under 5% of that membership that bought or sold a home used our program. We think there's definitely ways that we can help to increase that number and get them the financial benefit that comes with the use of our program. Use the iceberg as an example. How much of an iceberg is underwater, roughly? About 95%. So we are very much that iceberg with the Real Estate Rewards Network program. So there are a slew of members out there who are purchasing or selling their homes that we can target, and we really need to rely on you with AGRs and helping to identify who those members are and helping them to get into the program. So in this case, as I kind of mentioned earlier, pretty easy to identify someone who's in uniform. I'll use myself as an example again here. With me, you know, if you walk into my house, I'm retired Air Force, you'll see my shadow box on the wall. So we have definitely two things in common then too, is the Air Force service. The shadow box on the wall with the American flag, you'll see all my medals. It's pretty easy to identify me up there as a former USAA member, or as a former military member if you come into my home. But how do we identify those who were not the service members themselves? What do you think are some ways? What are some ways that you can identify who that typical USAA member is? What do you look for?
Well, my neighbor was moving out of her house yesterday, and she was putting her cards in her wallet, and she had a USAA credit card.
Okay, easy to get a visual cue from something like the USAA credit card. Any other ways that you can think of that you might help to identify a member? Haircut. Just kidding. Well, after 21 years in the Air Force, this is long for me right now. So it's yes, that is a way. But there's three ways that I'm going to focus on. One is kind of listening to that member or a potential member to help identify them. Do they do simple things like use the military alphabet? If they're talking Alpha Romeo, all that kind of stuff. I never did that, but some people do. Acronyms is another kind of dead giveaway that the military uses. I'm not going to go through each one of those because the Marines and some of the other branches have things wrong with things like TAD. We didn't use that in the Air Force, which actually stands for Temporary Assigned Duty. But if they're using a bunch of different acronyms, those things that you can listen for as kind of some verbal cues to help to identify who that member may be. Observation. I didn't have a chance to switch out the plates and put a Utah tag in here for a license, but DV tags and disabled veteran is something to look for. I know a lot of states in Texas, in addition to those DV tags, whatever your highest medal was that you earned when you were in the military might be on those tags. Bumper stickers, supporting our troops, somebody wearing a veteran hat, pretty easy ways to help you to visually identify membership as well. But I think the most critical thing that you have to do in every transaction is to ask the question. Have the tree up there to symbolize the family, and I always use myself as an example here. My membership was established in 1989 when I graduated from officer training school. At that point, USAA was only open to officers, so it was a much smaller contingent, much smaller than that $12.4 million member status that we have today. Because of my membership, my wife was immediately an associate member of USAA. I have 2 daughters, both grown now, who also established their membership with USAA when I opened accounts for them, so they became associate members. My oldest daughter is married. Her husband is now a USAA member because of my membership as well. And I also have 2 grandchildren, third one on the way. Guess what? They're also members because they have accounts set up. So I think the real challenge, this member is relatively easy to identify, but how do you identify those members 2 and 3 generations down the line? That's where that challenge comes in, and that's where I recommend that you really look at asking that question every single time that you're engaged with a new client. So the focus on...
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Somebody's got to get it going, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain the membership a little bit more in where it goes? It goes down, can it go laterally, but can it go up?
It cannot, because we actually get that question sometimes, so you served, and we're how long have you been a USA member?
25 years.
20.
First of all, married to her dad's military.
Okay.
And then now my current military.
Okay, but you couldn't pass it up to your parents at all, but you do pass it down to your children. You cannot pass it laterally to siblings either. It's only to a spouse and then down to your children, grandchildren, etc. down that way. Yes, ma'am.
So a son couldn't to his parents then?
Correct. Unless, a little bit more about the membership. I mentioned when I joined in 1989, USA's membership was closed to only military officers. In 1996, that expanded to the enlisted corps. And then in 2002, I believe, I'm not positive on the date, it also expanded to anybody who had served and been discharged honorably prior to that date. So my father, as an example, served in the Navy from 1960 to 1963. He is now a USA member because of his honorable service at that time. So we have seen an expansion in that. It also, one of the things I don't have up here, it does include some federal agents. FBI is included in there, and there's several others as well. I don't have all the demographics of our membership, but it has expanded that way. Sir?
So here's a question that I've got before that I didn't know, but a grandpa served in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
He had since passed away, like 2 or 3 years before I met this client. Are they still eligible to enroll via that grandpa's service?
Was he a member? That's
I don't know.
yeah. So the military member would have had to have established USA membership in order for it to be transferred down. What they have to do at that point is reach out to USA's new member solutions and just ask the question, see if that grandfather was a member, and then if then father or mother, whichever side that was on, transferred it down, they could establish membership that way.
So the only way for it to work is he had to have been a member.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So you can't establish it after the fact unless the military member was a member of USA at a previous time.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? So the focus on this, though, too, on the AGR is to help you to grow your business. We kind of reworked the AGR acronym with some other words with AGR. Kicking off with the word assess. Again, as I mentioned, are you a USA member? That should be the question that you're asking, which sounds like a question that you asked of that member, a potential member who had a grandparent that served. Looking for those visual and verbal cues that I mentioned earlier.
Slide it.
I missed the verbal cues.
Visual cues is what he was looking for. Apparently, Kemp needed the word guide to help him on that one, which is what we use for the G. Educating that member on the program benefits, gaining their permission to enroll them in the program, and then gathering the member info and working with your relocation staff to make that happen.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if you're working with a member who had a family member that is a member, you get the member number of the family member?
If
Does that make
so if they haven't
sense?
established, they're not enrolled.
If
They would
they're
have
not
to be.
enrolled, so say a parent
Yeah.
was a member and you're talking to a client,
Right.
they can establish membership if that parent still is an active USAA membership.
So in order for us to enroll them, do we get the member number of their parent?
You could get the member number of the parent just to have that linkage and then have them call into USAA and establish the
But you
membership
don't
at
have
that
to
point.
have that?
I'm not positive on that. I would have to get back to you on that to be sure, so.
I know they would have to become a member, but how does, you know, but they have to be related to somebody who is a member.
Correct.
So they would probably need that.
They would probably need to have the member number. That's again on our new member solutions, 1-800-531-USAA, and that'll connect you directly to new member solutions. And then the third point that we're just talking about here is register. Working with your relocation department to get that member enrolled in the program. And the other thing that we look at is this is a way to help you to avoid potential headaches. If you don't ask that member or that individual if he or she is a member of USAA and then they find out about the program afterwards, we can get escalations, which just cause a lot of headache, and then they're trying to get paid, get the money that comes with the program at the far end. I'll use an example. I was in Tampa, actually Jacksonville, about a year ago. There was a USAA member who was attending a Wounded Warrior Project event that we were presenting about the Real Estate Rewards Network program. This particular individual was not her first time buying a home. It was about her fourth or fifth time buying a home. She'd been a USAA member for about 15 years and had never heard of the program. So she was asking me at this point, hey, can I get the money that I could have gotten with those transactions? I said, no, unfortunately, that's not the way it works. That's not part of the process. But now that she's aware of the program, she can ask again at the front end of the purchase or sale of a home in the future to make sure that she does get enrolled and gain the benefits that come with the program. Kind of the why behind it, I'll say I stole this from Connie Swenson out of the Russ Lyons Sotheby's office down in Phoenix on one of our advisory council calls. Recently, she called these an agent gratitude referral rather than an agent generated referral, because it's your way of saying thank you to the members who have served our country. There are obviously benefits that come to you. That affiliation with USAA is going to open new doors across your market. As I mentioned, brand loyalty is huge with USAA members. The first time that I heard of the Movers Advantage program, I was a brand new captain. This is back in 1993. We were getting ready to buy our first home. I knew nothing about purchasing a home. Well, a friend of mine had just purchased his home, used the Movers Advantage program. Guess what agent I used? I used the same agent that he did through a referral. So it's going to help to generate business for you, and view it as part. I know it comes out of your pocket. View it as a marketing effort for yourself to gain new clients.
Vince,
Please.
how long does it take for them to become a member? Like, say I'm on a listing appointment and all of a sudden I identify that in fact they're
A potential member?
Yes.
It's actually very quick if they can if they can either link back to a parent or somebody who had served previously. If they've served themselves, it's really a very fast process to establish that membership and get into the program. Within a couple hours, really, to get it all done. So,
Perfect.
as long as they have the proof of service or proof of the family membership, where it can be transferred down, it's very quick to get it established. So it's going to give you that competitive edge in the market, and a very. I don't know what your market is like here in Salt Lake City or in Utah in general. I know, like in San Antonio, we're dealing with people coming in and getting multiple offers on the home, and selling the home for more than the asking price. Is that a similar case here? I know it's kind of that way across the country in general. So anything that helped to give you a competitive edge with that member is going to be very helpful. And then you have the supporting cast that we have at USAA. and also the advocates at Cardis to help members through any process or difficulties that they may be having in the process. And back again to that loyalty that I mentioned up front with our core values, evoking loyal customers, friends, family, coworker referrals. It is huge in the military community. I'm still friends with guys that I served with back 27, 28 years ago and still in contact with them. We share information. It's a very tight-knit community in the military, and guess what? My kids are the same way. So I'm sure that many others are dealing with it in a similar fashion. So that loyalty is going to pass down from generation to generation and hopefully gain you repeat business down the line. Again, I'll use my personal example. In Omaha, I bought that first house. When it came time for me to PCS, permanent change of station, move out of Omaha to Japan, I went back to the same agent that I used previously. Gave him the same business because I was very happy with the support that I had gotten from that agent in purchasing our first home and now selling our first home as well as we're getting ready to move out of the country. Actually, I won't say that I did that because, of course, I was deployed, so my wife did that and handled it all for us on the sale of the home and working with that agent. And as I mentioned earlier too, that the tree as the example that extends down from generation to generation. As I said, my grandkids are now USAA members. Not that I expect my 5-year-old grandson to be purchasing a home at any time in the very near future, but someday he will be in that market, and we pass that information on down from one generation to the next.
Next slide.
And so on the AGR front, I didn't know you had the picture in there. You didn't tell me that was there. I just saw the little trophy in the office. I want to say thank you for all of your effort too on the AGR front for achieving that 125% of those agent-generated referrals.
Great job.
And I know Cindy King has thrown out the challenge to push that up on the closings here in the fourth quarter again, to get another one of those on your shelves too. So thank you for your effort. Thank you, for having us out here. I'll be here with these guys, so if you have any additional questions, come grab me afterwards. I've got cards, and I also have some flyers for information on the AGR process. On the back side of it, it's also got a table of the reward schedule that goes to our members as well, if anybody wants to have one of those. It's just a handy little item to have on hand.
So do you guys have any questions for Vince? It's super amazing that he's here. So this is on anything dealing with real estate rewards with that.
If you guys don't have one that has that grid on the back side, grab one today, because that's what they also want to know. Well, how much, right? How much am I going to get at the end of the day, right? So make sure you have that with you, because it's a quick selling point. People like that. Yeah. We'll make sure everybody gets one. How about that?
So in just a really quick nutshell, maybe they're not interested in real estate, so the rewards of that really they're not wanting to sign up because they're like, I'm not going to move anytime soon. What else besides insurance do you guys offer to your members, so that maybe that may push them along to want to sign up?
Absolutely, and that's a great question, really, because it is more than just this program. Insurance, banking, wealth management, real estate. USAA has what, 150
something products.
150
We're a bank.
Products, yeah.
Right, so we're a bank, so whatever a bank has, for the most part, that's what we have. Car loans, credit cards.
How many of you have seen, is USAA banking advertisement on television here? Has anybody seen that? The one with the guy pulling up at the gas station and the team coming out to help with whatever is going on at the gas pump. So that is actually the first banking commercial that USAA has put out ever, and it actually includes mortgage on there. It identifies it at the very end. You'll probably never see Real Estate Rewards Network called out by itself, but I will tell you, from an advertising perspective, if you're on Pandora and you're a USAA member, Real Estate Rewards Network is on Pandora. It's also on some of the other, I think YouTube has some iHeartRadio, where there's actually playtime for Real Estate Rewards Network. But, it's getting back to your question in general, 153 rough products that USAA has that everybody, a lot of times we'll hear complaints, oh, well, your auto insurance rates are a little bit higher than everybody else's. Depends on the state. I'll say that, one. But what happens is people will go to some other vendor for auto insurance, and sometimes they're not satisfied with the service that they get because USAA is very customer service driven, going back to those core values that we mentioned with service as being one of those.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anything
Any other
else?
questions for
That's
Vince?
a good question. Yeah, because there's a lot of products. It is a auto, insurance, banking, property and casualty.
Wealth management, everything.
Easy way to do
Were
it.
there any
Yeah,
questions
cool.
from the folks in St. George?
I haven't had any text messages,
Okay.
but I told them to text me if they had any questions, so I'll double check. But, should we
All
turn
right,
the time over to
ready?
Kemp and Alex?
Alrighty. My name is Kemp Ward. Alex and Vince, they introduced themselves, but before I introduce myself, I just want to let you guys know that Alex is my director, and he thought he was coming here to watch me. But if you look at my slide, what does it say? Aha! Aha!
Careful what you ask for.
Uh-huh.
I
So
like the
this
talk.
is we're a tag team, so he's going to chime in from time to time to help me out. And
That's
if
an
I
inside joke, by the
Yeah.
way. I have a hard time being quiet. And I told him on the way, I said, look, this is you, I'm not going to say anything.
And we both laughed at the same, Vince and I laughed at the same time, yeah, all right.
It's really hard.
All right. So if this is my first time being out here in Utah, and it is very beautiful. I'm from Phoenix, not from Phoenix, but I moved to Phoenix about a year and a half ago, and I'll tell you that story in a few seconds. But if I stop and I just look out here, it's just beautiful. Just call me and wake me up, and I'll come back to life. And this is just awesome. So anyway, again, my name is Kemp Ward. I'm retired Navy. That's why I couldn't open the door. Because doors go in and out, right? That has to be an Air Force door or something up there. But
I just speak a little more slowly for Kemp. So that-
yeah. So you will hear some Air Force jokes. For now, I got the mic, so it's all right. No, but all good though, all good. I retired back in when, right? I did 20 years in the Navy, got out, and went right into mortgage. Not with USAA, I was with National City Mortgage. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them or not. Out of Newport News, Virginia. I retired out of Virginia. And every time I bought a house in the military, I always said I could do that job when I looked at the loan officer. When the loan officer was pulling our credit and doing everything, I kept saying to myself or saying to my wife, I can do that. I can do that. So when I got out back in West, I went straight into mortgage. Went straight into mortgage. I was a loan officer for a while, then I became branch manager of 2 different mortgage companies. Then I got a call from USAA to kind of do a little bit of this role that I'm doing today in the state of Virginia. So it was actually the same thing that Vince and his team was doing, and along with mortgage. Back before TRID, we were able to combine the two, so I would come out, talk about, at that time it was called Movers Advantage, we'd talk about the Movers Advantage program, and I would also talk about mortgage. But now that TRID came about, we have to keep it totally separate. So from this point going forward, the only thing I'm going to talk about is this. Everybody good? Vince is over there. Okay? Only thing I'm here to talk about is that. All right? So now, I'm here. We're ready to rock and roll. We made it all Vince, Alex, and I, we came all the way from, Vince came from Texas, Alex came from St. Louis, I came from Phoenix. What would you like to know about mortgage? All right, let me grease the skid a little bit.
This is my favorite part, right? Somebody will be kind of, then the small hand goes up.
That's right. It's fine. Go for it. What would you like to know?
I have a few different questions. One about your.
You get one question and we're going to move on.
Can I combine 2 together?
Combine 2. Go for it. All right, go for it.
It's mostly about your pre-approval process.
Okay.
I know you guys are calling it a pre-approval, but it really seems like it's still just a qualification.
Okay.
I'm getting clients that aren't really approved. They can't
Gotcha.
purchase a home.
Okay. But they have a letter from
They
us?
have a letter from you.
Okay.
I'm showing them lots and lots of homes. It's time to
Okay.
put an offer, and they can't buy a home.
Okay.
So, right. And so that's, I kind of want to know that process.
Okay.
And then along with that, you know, why do you not do the pre-approval? Like, I get clients that are like, oh, we have to give them taxes and pay stubs. So they don't even know that they need to put all that
Sure.
information into you. And then the next question that goes along with it is the COE. Do you help them get that? I just got a recent one that I closed. He didn't have a COE. He had no idea how to get it. And it took us 2 weeks hounding the VA to get that.
Wow.
So.
Sorry that you went through all that.
Questions?
2 weeks
All right.
finding who?
The VA.
Yeah, a little bit louder, please.
Yeah, I realize it's the VA and it's government.
Right.
But we were under contract, now all of a sudden we're trying to get this
Yes.
COE.
No, and very
So-
valid point, right?
Right.
There's, yeah, and Kim.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. And one of the parts I didn't talk about, or when I did my introduction, is before I got this role in May, I was actually a manager of loan officers up in Phoenix. So I know how the process works firsthand. So I had loan officers, so I know what they say, I know what they do, I know the habits, so I'll be able to walk you guys through it firsthand. Okay? Lived it, loved it, all that good
so
stuff.
those are 2 very good questions.
And they're all going to come in into our PowerPoint.
Yep.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
You'll probably answer this, but kind of once you get it under contract, it seems like it goes through so many different people, and the communication between one and the other, I feel like I'm starting over per new guy. I've had one great total transaction, and then I had a total great transaction until the very end person, and that last link was, so it would be nice to have it smoother, know who you're going to be talking to, who you're going to be working
point of contact.
Yes.
So imagine
the
that.
same person
We
would
should
be
have
nice. I don't know.
Nice.
So hold on, did you say you want to talk to the same person?
I would love to.
Really?
You've never heard that.
We thought everybody was just happy calling the 800 number.
Yeah.
Just whoever, right? Yes, sir.
The black
And we're
hole.
going to answer that. So we're going to, so
Absolutely.
at the end of this presentation, we're going to give you a lot of answers. Hopefully, you'll understand the process and you'll understand who to call when and why. Yes. Yes, sir.
seconding what she said.
Okay, anybody third motion? Third. Yeah, all right. So we're good.
Motion is passed.
All right, it is passed. We're going to make it happen. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is a little towards the end, or actually the very beginning. What can you guys help us to know what to do when, like, I've got this right now.
Okay.
A new referral.
Yep.
Encourage them to get pre-qualified, pre-approved with USAA.
Okay.
They don't want to.
They don't want to?
They've talked to their new coworkers. They've done some research. It's not a good experience. They told me not to. And I'm trying to promote this and encourage it. Can you help us to know how we can show them more than just me encouraging?
Sure.
Give us something that we can work with.
Yeah, long memories.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the
Long memories from different people.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people have had excellent service? Whatever you did in life, just in general. How many people have had excellent service? Right? How many people has had terrible service? Right? So that's pretty much the same hand. So let's go back to the excellent service question. You've had excellent service. How many people have ever written to the corporate office to let them know that they've received excellent service? Okay, so a lot less hands went up during that time frame, right?
And it's thanks to USAA.
Right?
By the way.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go, right? But a lot less hands go up when we have that excellent service, right? Or that service that just meets your needs. But if you had a complaint, you probably took that somewhere, right? Or if there was a place for you to blog it, like USA, we're pretty transparent, so a lot of stuff is on Facebook, on our website, of members having complaints about stuff. We're very transparent, so a lot more members will complain than actually give us a compliment. So in that reference, you can say, and a lot of times it's all subject-based or perception-based on stuff like that, right? So just because Alex had a bad experience doesn't mean that I'm going to have a bad experience. 9 times out of 10, it's probably the industry. It's probably something in the mortgage industry that probably didn't go right with them, right? Another thing is that you can also ask them, do they have any other products with USAA? 9 times out of 10 they do if they're a member. And then ask them, how was that transaction? Most of our insurance transactions go over very smoothly, right? We have a lot of great stories about our insurance, right? So now we're trying to get there, and we'll talk about that just a little bit. We're trying to get there with mortgage, right? Where a lot of stuff that you all told us back when we were called Movers Advantage, that we've put a lot of stuff into place to do a lot better job with what we're doing. All right? So any other questions that you would like to know? All right, you guys are going to be here for 4 hours. You guys are going to be here for 4 hours. Let's make sure we're good.
That was only one?
No, she had 3 of them.
I just want to say that the last couple have been really, really good.
Okay. Okay, good.
But the problem that we seem to be bumping into is other people that they associate with at Hill Air Force Base.
Sure.
They're saying,
Yeah.
we had a bad experience a year
Exactly.
ago.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem is.
Okay. Again, we're just coming up with stuff, and that happens all the time. I mean, that's just going to happen. That's life, right? Just like what Vince was saying, he keeps in contact, and I do too, keep in contact with my military friends, and we just continue the same business. And same thing with bad news, right? Bad news travels faster than good news, right? So it's going to get around that we were bad. But here's where I want to throw it back to you guys. You guys are in the program, right? If we were totally that bad, would you still be in the program? Seriously, right? This is your paycheck, right? If we was totally that bad, you guys wouldn't be here, right? So I would also try to bring that into it a little bit yourself. Let them know about the last experience you had. You had a good experience the last time. And let them just share that information. Share your stories. Not the bad ones, but share the good ones.
You answered my question. Because
didn't?
You did.
Oh, okay.
We need to encourage the good experiences. They need to go and they need to do their reviews. We need to encourage that, and I haven't. So thank you for that. You actually
welcome.
answered my question already.
Good.
Nice
All right,
job.
so we're done. That was Alex. That was Vince. I'm Kim. Thank you. All right, so anything else? Because you guys are going to be here for 4.5 hours. Let's get it all out. Yes, ma'am. In the back.
The number keeps going up.
With you guys, my buyers were quoted a 45-day close.
Okay.
With the market the way it is and as tight as it is,
Yep.
and multiple offers, that has got to be addressed because that kills deals.
All right. Cool. I'm going to address this real quick.
Yeah.
Because this may not be in here. If the member needs a quicker closing than 45 days, let's start from the beginning. Our rate locks are locked for 45 days.
That's what I was going to ask.
Our rate locks are locked for 45 days. So our members may hear that and think that they can't close for 45 days. They can close anytime they want, but their rate is locked for 45 days. If they close in 34 days, that's fine. They close in 44 days, we're fine. 45 days, we're fine. But their interest rate is locked for 45 days. If there's something and you need a 38-day closing, please reach out to your LO. The LO on the pre-approval letter, and they can let you know, yes, we can. Maybe 2 years ago, we couldn't move that date at all. Today, we can. So if you don't have to wait 45, we just have to quote them a 45-day rate when we pull their credit. So hopefully that was just a misunderstanding, but we're not at 45 days.
No, I've had that same experience. I had two clients present an offer at the same time. One went with another bank that's associated with the military. I went to Bucks and names. And one with USAA. The one with the other bank closed way sooner than the USAA one, and the USAA one was just kind of a nightmare.
Okay.
And then another thing I just wanted to mention to you is I work with USA people, and one thing they're coming back and telling me is they're getting lower rates.
Elsewhere? Okay.
Because I asked them why
Sure.
they're choosing not to go
Yeah,
with USA.
we get the rate question a lot.
Yeah, that's
And so they
huge.
said, well,
Yeah.
because I'm getting a lower rate.
Gotcha.
So that's just my.
Yeah, and
Okay.
let me,
That's my
so
Yeah,
there's a couple things in there. Because we quote a 45-day rate lock, right? And because our members typically come to us first, they start with us, right? And they get a 4.5% rate, right, for 45 days.
I got you.
And then they go somewhere else and want to get another quote, and that individual is going to, well, what are you currently? We're the first one shopped,
Right.
right? Somebody comes and undercuts it, like it happens in the mortgage business every day of the week, right? But then that member never comes back to us to see if we can even do anything with it, right? And sometimes we can, sometimes we can't, but part of the membership is they come to us first, right? That's some of the loyalty, and then where we need your encouragement is to keep it here and look at it and go, well, what are they quoting you? Are they quoting you a 15-day lock? Are they quoting you a 30-day lock? Are they quoting you a 45-day lock? So there's some help that we need from you all to help combat a little bit of that too, right? So rate lock is interesting. We are very well priced any day of the week. I will never tell you we're the best. I won't tell you we're the worst. We try to be in the top third quartile, right? So that's our industry speak for being in the top third. And we're always competitive. VA, very competitive. The jumbo that we have is nice. The conforming product, I think the rate is okay, but there's a couple other things in there that keep us from doing really well in the conforming bit. And we can talk a little bit about that if you want to know too. So the rate thing, we need help from you all. We really do.
Please do. And when they come to you with that rate, find out if it is a 30-day lock, because again, we're quoting 45. We can't quote 30-day pricing rates right now, so it is at 45. And I don't know if you all know this or not, but interest rates can change up to 4 times a day. So literally, they could hang up the phone, call someone else, and it'll still be a different rate, and they call us back and we have the exact same rate.
Yeah, and like, you know, I've been in the mortgage business 20 years.
Right.
Somebody tells me that they got 4%, I could quote 3 any day of the week. Because until it locks in.
Yep. And it's gonna cost.
Can you guys
Right.
advise your clients when they contact you, if you go get a quote from someone else, bring it back to us?
We do. That's one of the things that's in there. We do. Because we want to make sure we are comparing apples to apples. Because just because they got a lower rate, we might have quoted them par. Par means no pricing. It doesn't cost you anything to get that rate. Where they got a lower rate with ABC Mortgage, but they're paying 1% or 1% origination or something.
Yeah.
So our LOs are trained to look at that and compare apples to apples. And I will tell you this, because I was a manager up there doing this. If we look at a ABC Mortgage and it is better, then we will say it's better. Now, if it's only better by 1/8, then no, we're going to try to save that. But if it's truly better and they're getting $5,000 or it's a 0.5%, we're going to say, congratulations, thank you, we're always here for you, but that is a much better than what we can do. Okay. Yes. No, she had her hand back there first.
No, you're so awesome. I actually was just going to pay a compliment.
Okay, we love compliments.
I've gotten with the same loan officer in a couple of good deals, and it's been amazing. I think you guys have come a long ways.
Woo-woo!
Do you like having that same loan officer? Do you like having the same loan officer?
Absolutely.
Do you like knowing who it is, being able to dial them up, say, hey, I need you to get this pre-approved for me?
Absolutely.
Well,
Did you request him? That would be nice.
No, I didn't request it, but yeah.
You can always request them, that LO, and the same thing with the processor, right? So if there's anybody at USAA that does a great job and you want to use them over and over again, then you can always do that. You can always request that person's name. You can always do that.
Well, see, I never knew that.
Well, see,
yeah, it's definitely working better.
Hey, we're price up addition, right?
It's better.
It's definitely going to get better. Wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear this.
Okay.
Your firm here in Utah has been chosen by USAA. Say that again?
We're the chosen ones?
You are the chosen one. Yes. You guys are the chosen one. So we have a program, it's called Operation Home Base. Is there a way I could make this black or blank it out?
Blank out?
I think if you hit the B on
Control B.
Yeah, I think B. Yeah, we do. All right, so we have a program, it's called Operation Home Base, and your firm has been chosen to participate in this program. And what this means is that you guys are going to have a dedicated team of LOs to work with. Yes. Okay? You're going to also have an LO manager. Right now, we're working out some details with the LO manager. I already told Heather who it is, but as of today, your manager is going to be me. I'm going to take care of it for now. Tomorrow or Wednesday, I will email you the list. I will email it to Heather, and Heather can give it to everybody. The list of LOs on there. You pick who you want to use. You're going to have they have direct dials, so you don't have to call the 1-800 number. If you have a member that needs to get pre-approved, then you just pick somebody off that list and say, hey, call Kemp at, don't have them call me. I'm just using that as an example. Call Kemp at USAA, and instead of them, just saying call USAA, that's kind of impersonal, right? It's better to say a name. Pick somebody, and what I also recommend you do is before you even have anyone, call one or two or three of those agents or LOs on the that you have, and just have conversation with them. Ask them, what's our closing time? Is there something that that you need? Anything you want to know? What's unique about Utah, or is there something that can make this transaction go a lot quicker? If you're taking a member out this weekend, give the LO a heads up. Give them a call. Say, hey, I'm taking Alex out this weekend. We're looking very serious. I think we're going to narrow it down to this. What's a good closing time for USAA right now? Okay, so you're going to have that in the next couple days. We're excited. I'm excited for you. Heather was excited when I told her about it a little while ago. So hopefully you are excited, because this is a great opportunity for us to now you can actually put a face with the name. And their faces are going to be on there. Yeah, so it's like a little business card. So yep, and it's direct dials, and we're ready to roll. All right, we're going to get into this because we're already 30 minutes of my 4 hours. And
so you have one more question, and I'm not going to skip you. So what's your question?
Why are your closing costs on VA loans so high?
Woo! Woo! I'm going to tell you. Not right now, but I will tell you. And we have to be this high for a reason. We are very,
High.
yes.
And it's hard
Yes.
in a competitive market when
Yeah.
the local
That's
elected
crazy.
get 2%.
Yes.
You
That's,
guys are telling, you're
Yeah.
voting them 3 to 4.
we are.
It's a
Okay.
problem.
It is, right?
Would you
And
burst her bubble now?
Huh?
Would you burst her bubble now?
No way. No way. We're going to keep her going.
Whoa.
So right now at USAA, we're all military, right? We're all military. We're all military based. So what's the easiest way for us to make more money?
Go to war.
By then just right? Believe it or not, in a roundabout way, right? That in a roundabout way. That's politics.
Insurance
though,
goes
right?
up, it's pretty good actually.
That's when the economy goes down. That's politics, though, right? When the economy goes down, we go to war. That's how we make money, right? But anyway, let's go back to this. But that's true. But anyway, we're going back to you. So easiest way for us to make money is we have our military, right? Our really military establishment, our members, right? So why not charge more on a VA loan? Right? That's easy. That's easy money. That's why we do that. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, right? But we're going to, That's our bread and butter. We want to do that, right? So Vince already went over our mission statement, but I just wanted to take a look at this last part that Vince hit on, and I want you guys to tell me how you guys fit into helping us meet our mission, right? We seek to be the provider of choice for the military community. So how do you guys play a big part in helping us fulfill that mission?
Through really good service.
Okay, by you guys delivering really good service, right? What else?
Letting people know
Let them know what?
about USA Rewards Program and what they can do.
There you go, right? Letting them know about the program, right? A lot, as Vince mentioned earlier, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know. And our biggest way to drum up business is us doing what we do, but we have a lot of room for growth, right? A lot of room for growth. How many people would love to have 3 more closings per year than what you had last year? Okay, so there we go. So that's where we're rolling, right? So what else? How else can you help us be the provider of choice for the military community? We got the Real Estate Rewards Network by you all delivering great service. What else can you tell them about USAA?
They provide 153 different services.
Very much so. That's very good, right? Sure do, right? Most people, when you talk to them, they go, I have everything. I have insurance. I have everything with USAA. I have insurance. What else? The reason why I'm here.
Business.
Okay, what are you going to tell them?
They offer mortgage services.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, right? We would love for you to honor the source, right? They came from us. We would love for you to honor the source. In order for them to get their commission or their bonus, they do not have to use USAA mortgage. Okay? They do not have to use USAA mortgage. We would love for them to do that. The reason we're here is to let you know how we can make this transaction better, how we can get better, and I'll tell you more about why I'm here as well. So the more feedback I get from you, I take it back to USAA internally, and we'll see if we can do those things that you all need. Okay? Yes, sir.
We're really not trying to skin the cat.
Yes, you are.
I want to know how you would approach this situation with one of my last USA referrals.
Okay.
Great client.
Okay.
Awesome. I'll be a friend with him for a long time. I really
Nice.
appreciate that connection that I wouldn't have had without you guys.
Okay.
But he came up to me after we went under contract, and he said, because he actually worked for you guys for years.
Okay.
And he's like, I love these guys. That's why I'm using them. That's why I'm a member.
Yep.
But their closing costs, your closing costs for this home were like $12,000.
Yeah.
And he went out and got 2 different quotes that were right around 6.
Gotcha.
And he was paying for them. So how would you address that?
Okay. So how I would address it is we have our closing costs, what we charge to do a loan, right? The other part, everything else is going to come out in the wash. So we quote them, I'm just making a number up. We quote them $3,000 for taxes. You guys know what the taxes are truly going to be, right? So we may be off by $2,000, I don't know, whatever, I'm just making a number up, right? So if you look at what we're quoting them to figure out where that true gap is, then this is what let's just put it on us. Let's just say we're charging $3,000 over whatever the closing costs truly are. Then just educate them and say, well, this is where it is. It's in the origination fees, right? It's in the whatever fee that USA is charging. But everything else is going to be the same, right? When you go to the attorney, the insurance, the title, all that is going to be 100% the same. We give you an estimate. That's all it is an estimate. But at the end of the day, everything is going to be sifted out, and it's going to be whatever your true taxes are, that's what it's going to be. Whatever your true insurance is, it's going to be.
Like title
Whoever you
fees,
use,
they
right.
ask a lot more title
That's
fees than
correct.
they really are.
Yep, right. So with taxes, right, depending on when they had their credit pulled, we might have quoted them 6 months up front for taxes, but you didn't buy a house until 6 months later, so now you may only need whatever, right? So you may not need as much. So just those kind of things. And if we truly are, let's say we are getting beat by $5,000 from today going forward, then I would like to know that, okay? And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you all of our fees for all of our products, okay? So this way you can actually narrow it down. So say at this point, USAA is charging you $2,000, but the rest of the stuff with ABC Mortgage is going to be 100% the same. Okay? Fair enough? Okay? Great stuff. So this is why I'm here. I already talked about that. I'm here to promote the mortgage, here to facilitate relationships with you guys as well, making sure that I want to know what needs to be done out here in Utah, and I want to take it back to USAA and make sure we can meet your needs. So let's go with someone over on this side said something about 45-day closing. So if we truly was at 45-day closing, let's just say that was the truth, and we said you're closing at 45, but in order for them to get a house here, they really need to close in 32 or 33, then that's the information I need to take back. We're not at 45, by the way, so please, we're not that far. We're at 44, but not at 45.
Just a quick comment. So we had a client about 2 months ago that we got the referral for.
Yep.
And we're looking at homes for quite a while, and we finally found one, and we needed to close sooner.
Okay.
I called USAA in his behalf. Obviously, I didn't get into his account information. They don't give me that information.
Sure.
But I asked him, how can we rush this?
Yep.
And they said, well, let me run through the checklist with you. And there's a checklist they ran through. We were able to close in 28 days.
Yep.
So as long as they also comply with, it fits within those check boxes.
That's
We're
right.
gonna check those, it can be rushed.
Yep.
So I don't have an issue as long as they've also fulfilled their part of the bargain as far as going through and giving out documentation, which we closed earlier.
Thank you for that. And that's not on my slide, but in my presentation. If you guys need something, 28 is extreme, right? That's really extreme. That's probably the 1%. But for the most part, if you need closing sooner than 45 days, again, I'm just using that as a number. Let us know, right? We want to know. We can change it if we have capacity to do it. We can change it. But one of the things you must remember when this happens, it has to be the member's desired close date, right? The member has to want to close. Okay? The member has to want to close, not the agent, right? The member, right? The member has to, because what we do internally, we ask the member, we see on your contract it says 15, what month is it, October? We see you want to close on 15 October. Is that a great month? Is that a great time for you? If they come back with, no, I can do it anytime, but this is what my agent told me, then is it truly a rush? Is it really? Because we don't want to clog the system up with stuff like that, right? And we want to be able to handle something on emergency. I'm not saying you all are doing this. I'm just saying when we're doing it, just educate the member on why. If you had a multiple offer, right, and we need to close early, please explain that to the members. All you have to do is explain it to the member, and then when they talk to us, we're okay with that, right? We have to know the reason why, if it's going to be something like that,
exactly what
right? So if it's a multiple offer, then bring it up. Let the member know. This is the reason why you got the offer, is because we need a closing in 28 days or 29 days or something like that. We're starting to be a little more friendly now, so please call us, talk to us. Call your the list of LOs that you're going to get, call them. And we'll work with you. So are we ready to roll?
Yes.
We're going to go quickly because a lot of stuff we answered while we were doing the beginning in the introduction. Okay? Vince already gave it away, but one of the questions I always ask, so let's see if you guys were paying attention. I don't want the people that are USAA members, because you probably did pay attention to that part. This side of the room, if you're not a USAA member, how many members do we have? Just throw a number out. It's okay. How many? 12 million? Okay, I'm not going to say if you're right or wrong until they throw out a number. Throw out a number.
2 million.
2 million? Okay. We have, go ahead, what? Oh, I thought somebody was going to say something.
Wait.
Do
the math. I'm doing math. You do 48,000 transactions, and that was 5%, so if you do the math backwards, it's whatever that is, right?
No, it's actually 5% of the size.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Right, you're close, right? So we have 12 good number, right? So I just wanted to see if you were watching, because when I saw Vince do that, I was like, ooh, that was my question. So we have 12.4 million members and growing, right? Very nice, nice job, right? And one of the things that we want to do, and the reason why Vince and I are out here, or should I say Vince's team and our team is out here, is to make sure to promote the mortgage, to promote Real Estate Rewards Network. We want our members to know about the product. We have 12.4 million members. We'll just use that number, 12.4 million members, but only about 6% of that number knows that we even do mortgage. They even know that we even have a product for Real Estate Rewards Network. So we're trying to bring the awareness out. Last year, we had a budget of about $1 million on the mortgage side. And the company that has 12.4 million members, how far does $1 million go? Not too far, right? Now I think our budget is anywhere from 11 to 12 million this year. So that's why you saw the commercials on TV. You hear the commercials everywhere else, because we needed that, right? We needed that money to help us come out here, to help you guys get more business. You guys want to close more loans, right? You guys would like to have 3. I think I asked that earlier, right? You'd like to have 3 more closings. We can't promise that, but we would love to get you there, right? With your help, we can get there. Anything else before I continue on my mission? So we're at 12.4 million members, right? So this is how many files we've actually closed last year. 63.5, right? Which is a fantastic number, right? But when you look at 12.4 million, right, how far did that go? So let's take it a little step further to where Vince brought up. Last year we did about 1 to 1.2 million mortgage transactions last year, or should I say real estate transactions. So about 200,000 of that were people paying cash, about 400,000 or so roughly was refinances, and that left us a little bit about 700,000 or so mortgage transactions. So out of that 700,000, we end up getting 63.5. So that goes back to my point of how many people actually know about our product, right? Out of that 63.5, you all did about 14.5-ish of that number, and I thank you guys for that. You guys that came from the network. I'll clap for myself. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you. So we thank you for that. We thank you for that. So we want to grow, we want to grow, we want to get that number. You said you were at the conference last year?
Yep.
Wasn't that a great conference?
Great.
Oh, we had a great time. Great time. You guys missed it, so I'm going to rub your nose in it. Oh, we did this? No, just kidding. But every year, we've always talked about the magic number of 100, right? We want to do 100. You probably heard it for 3 or 4 years, 100, 100. We want to get there, and we can get there. We have room, right? We got 750 of those thousand so that didn't do a transaction with us. So we have a lot of room for growth. So that's why we're here, to see if we can get that number up as high as we can. Vince, on his slide, I think he had 94.1% of our members was satisfied with the Real Estate Rewards Network, which is fantastic. At USAA, our benchmark is 90% for member satisfaction with any product that we have. So how many people were here when we were called Movers Advantage? Okay. Back then, when we were called Movers Advantage, when we were just talking about the program itself or mortgage, we were at a 50% member satisfaction rate. 50% unsatisfactory with USAA. So we revamped our product, and right now, as you see on the slide, we're about 89%, probably about 89.1, which is unique. We're very happy for that, but we're not at our 90 yet. Here's something else unique about this 89%. Has anybody ever did anything where you went to buy something, or you needed service and they said, please show me how I can get a 10 or how I can get a 5 for your service? Has anybody ever been somewhere where they want you to rate them as a 10 or a 5, right? At USAA, this is only for mortgage. This is only for mortgage. When we call out, well, Gallup calls out and does a survey, at USAA, the LOs, the processors, we're not allowed to tell the members that we're calling. We're not allowed to tell them that we're giving them a survey at all. So this number is truly 89%. That is non-solicited, okay? So I think that really is huge, right? I know you guys have yours. We don't, if you guys tell them they're getting a survey on you, we don't care. That's on you, how you run your business. But we're just letting you know at USAA, when it comes to mortgage only, we don't tell them at all. So this is really good.
So when you talk about what can you tell people who are unsure about using this, 90% of the people that have used this in the last, and I'll say this because that number is from 2017 into 2018. So in the last year, we're running an 89% satisfaction.
That's good.
That's huge, right? Really good, right? So we thank you because you're referring business back to us, and the information that you're giving us to help us get better, we're taking that on board.
Yeah, the other thing I'd add too, I mean, if you think about it when you're talking with them, I mean, we close anywhere between 5,000 to 6,000 loans a month, right? So in one respect, 63.5 out of a potential 700 is not a very good number, but 63,000 loans a year makes us, I think, the 10th largest mortgage company in the country. And we're a captive audience, right? People are calling us. So it's a big number. I don't want to skew that, right? It's just Kim and I really like the potential that's there. It's that those 650,000 that aren't using us that are our potential and your potential, right? This whole program that Vince talks about on the RRN has such enormous upside, but it's getting the message out. It's the education and awareness to our members as well as you are.
Yeah.
Well, if they've had a past experience with the mortgage that's been unsatisfactory, you find out when it was.
Yes.
You know, in the last year, it's gone up from 55% to 89% is a pretty good.
That's a big
Yeah, actually, and as I travel the country, I hear a lot of folks. I mean, my hope that you guys have done this in about the last 18 months is when you've really seen the swing and improvement from the mortgage company. And it's very intentional internally, right? In 2014 into 2015, when that membership survey, membership satisfaction came out and said 50%, whoop, right? The president of the mortgage company pushed the pause button, and as some of you may know, we stripped down the product. We used to do a lot of different stuff. We stripped it down, and all we were doing was VA at that point, right? The VA business was all we're doing, and got that straightened out. And then over the last 18 months, have added in a little more product, conforming, jumbo, high balance, some of the other things we do, because we feel like we're a much more well-oiled mortgage company at this point. We know what we're doing. And then the satisfaction comes into play at that point. That's where we're really going, all right, how are we doing? And it has gotten, I hope you all have seen a lot better.
So hopefully you've seen a lot better since December of 2016, because that's when I became manager of mortgage. So hopefully from 2016 to present, we're good. So there we go. So the good thing about USAA is we're listening, right? We're listening, we're learning, we're getting a lot of people from the outside, from the mortgage industry. We're getting a lot of outside people coming in to our organization with some outside knowledge. And one of the things that we struggled with was when it was called Movers Advantage, we were open basically from 9 to 5, right? Monday through Friday. No weekends, no nothing, right? Holidays were off, right? Everybody's at the beach having a good time, or should I say up climbing the mountains or skiing or whatever, having a good time. But now we've actually we're open 7 days a week. We're open 7 days a week from 8 to 8. 8 to 8, 7 days a week. Except Christmas, Thanksgiving, and I don't know. Because on 4th of July, we offer to be open. We offer certain holidays, we offer overtime to be open. But the major ones I know for sure is Christmas and Thanksgiving. Were you going somewhere with that?
Oh, I'm like, why are you closed on the 4th of July? I'm just wondering.
What'd you say that? I didn't hear what
I
was 4th
guess
of
it's
July.
because members, I've kind of decided that it's because members are home and they're like looking online.
We were open on the 4th of July.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
Because I was working.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
And I had 3 or 4 weeks
Yeah.
to place
Yeah. We're open.
Also working.
Yeah, we offer overtime where it's like time and a half plus something else. So a lot of LOs take advantage of that. So yes, we're open on 4th of July. Only ones I know for sure is probably Thanksgiving and Christmas, and maybe New Year's Day, maybe. But for the most part, we may open the doors, offer overtime for LOs to work. If they don't, then there's their right to be off on those on the major holidays. But yes, we were definitely open on July.
And really, it's a shout out for my agent.
Okay.
It's like, hey, I'm working. If you get a call from me, please answer.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a quick call to the member. They're probably not really expecting to hear from somebody that day. Do you know what I mean?
Agreed.
But if we can be available and just do that initial call and put off the formal let's sit down thing till later, just be aware that that's why. The members are home, they're looking online.
Yep.
They're doing their interest looking. They're gonna pick you.
Mhm.
It comes in, answer that, press 5, answer that call.
Yeah.
And just know we're also
Press 1,
working.
press 2, press 5.
That's
Press
right.
2, 5.
Right. When is everybody working? When we're off, right? When everybody's off, that's when they're out there looking at houses, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, right? So the great thing is we have 3 sites at USAA. We have Tampa, San Antonio, and Phoenix. So 8 o'clock. I don't even know what time it is here. I'm lost in the sauce. What time is it right now? Anybody?
2:15.
All right, 2:15. So it's 1:15 in Phoenix. So at 8 o'clock in Phoenix is when the last person at USAA is done. But here's the good news. Here's the good news. I don't know this for sure, but I know since I've been at USAA, they've always done this. Phoenix does not go, they do not do the daylight savings time. But we will, since California is going to go to 8 o'clock, we're going to be open till 9 o'clock. Whenever the daylight saving times come about, in Phoenix, we're going to be open till 9 o'clock. Okay? So basically, if you remember 8 to 8 California time, that's kind of how it is. So the good news is you guys will always win, because 8 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast is whatever time it is here, 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever. If you have somebody at 6 o'clock in the morning, they can call and somebody from Tampa will answer the phone and pre-qual or pre-approval. Okay? So it's 8 to 8. Your LOs are working 8 to 8, all different shifts. So remember I told you about the list you're going to get? You can call your LO and find out their working hours. Not all LOs work 7 days a week, 8 to 8, right? So they have all funky kind of shifts. Some work 4-10, some work from 11:30 to 8, all different things. Ask them what's their times, their days off, and each LO has a buddy. So if an LO is off on a Wednesday, then they have a buddy on the team that is going to cover for them on Wednesdays, or whatever day, right? Saturday or Sunday. Yes, ma'am.
You made an extra, a point here, you said pre-qual versus pre-approved.
Yep.
What is your difference? And
Okay.
What is your, how do you handle that?
All right. So I said pre-qual, and it's all now called pre-approval. They all went to pre-approval, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay. So pre-approval. So that was my blunder, but it is all pre-approval. Everything you get from USAA will be a pre-approval, not a pre-qual, and I'll explain that in a little bit. What all goes into the pre-approval? Yes, ma'am. Did you have a question? Oh, I saw her hand over here. All right. So we good with that? 8 to 8. And now we're also regionalized. You guys are in Region 7. That's my region. I'm in Region 7. So I'll show you what that means. Actually, I will put that up on the board now so you'll see. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So this is my region right here, Region 7. So you all are in here somewhere, right? You know where you're at? Right? So you're in here somewhere. And over here. So you guys are in here, right? So this is where I go. I travel all the time. This is where I go. I'm going to these different states, bringing back the intel back to USAA, also letting you guys know, letting them know, or letting all the agents know the same thing that you guys are sitting in here learning today. But before I go any further, I want you to just look at this map, right? Look at the map. Are we ready? What is this? What is this? Okay, very good. There you go, Alaska. We're good. And what is this? Hawaii. Very good, right? So, just looking at the map, okay, we're all regionalized. I have Region 7. So, where do you think Alaska and Hawaii should fall?
In
Region 7. There you go. Very good. Very good. So I want you guys. So this is what I need you all to do. Make sure you send an email to my manager. I don't know if you guys ever met my manager. Now, Alex, have you guys seen him? Anyway, send him an email, because right now the way this map looks, I should have Alaska and Hawaii. Right?
That was really so good, because I was like, where in the world is he going?
So I was in Kansas a couple weeks ago, and I said the same joke.
He's trying to trade Kansas for Hawaii.
Right? And so one of the agents said, well, at least you have Kansas. Okay. Fair enough. I said, fair enough. We're good. We're good. But anyway, we're regionalized. So these 3 dots here are where our processing centers are. All of your files will be processed out of Phoenix. Okay? All your files will be processed out of Phoenix. What's a benefit to you for doing it, or to us, to you, for all your files being processed out of Phoenix? Okay, very good, right? A relationship, right? They're going to know you, you're going to know them, they're going to know what Utah needs, right? If Utah needs a certain thing, and actually Heather brought something to my attention that I'm going to take back with Utah, that's something that you guys are doing, so I'm going to take that back. But now we know, right? Now we know. Hopefully you'll work with the same processor over and over again and get to know them, and you'll know what they need at a certain time, or they'll know what you'll need. This way it's not bouncing over from here to there, and you'll be close to your time zone, right? You'll be close to your time zone. So we're broken out into 8 regions. USA is looking at maybe breaking it out into 7 regions, but that's neither here nor there. But the reason we're doing this,
Hawaii.
huh?
You're still not getting Hawaii.
How many emails will it take? So, man, he just messed me up. So I was getting Hawaii. But anyway, we're breaking it up. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. No matter what, you're stuck with me. But, wow, you made me lose my train of thought. But it's all good.
LOs.
We are, whatever. So it'll come to me. So anyway, we're regionalized, and I'm happy for that. We're regionalized, so I'll just stare outside for a minute because I lost my train of thought. But anyway, we're good. So we're regionalized, and this here is going to help us get better. We want to know what you need from USAA, and we're going to let you know what we can do for you, right? We want to make sure that, and Vince actually mentioned this when we were talking about the Carter's Conference, is that now some of you have never met anybody from USAA before, right? Now we're going to be able to come out and actually have that one-on-one contact. The same thing with your LOs, right? You're going to have that one-on-one contact with that LO, whoever you pick from Ryan's team, that you want to work with. If there's an LO that somebody mentioned before that they've worked with prior LOs and you have that good relationship with them, then continue working with them. That's fine. That's okay. You can do that. Same thing with the processor. Now here's the thing with the LOs. LOs are working with this whole entire map. Okay, LOs. Loan officers are working with this whole entire map. Just because you're in Florida and Phoenix is open and you happen to call during the time when Florida was closed, then Phoenix LOs are going to take that call. And vice versa, right? So if your member's up at 6 o'clock in the morning, they decide they want to talk to an LO, somebody in Tampa may do that. So whoever that LO is, you keep them with that same LO. You can't refer them to your LO. If they've already been pre-approved through USAA, you just work that relationship with that current LO. Now, the ones that you don't have, don't have a pre-approval with, then that's when you can recommend one of the LOs that you have from your team. Okay. Someone, yes, ma'am.
So are loan officers licensed in all states?
They are.
We fall under a bank umbrella.
Yep. We have one. All of them are National Mortgage Licensing Service.
They are not like a mortgage broker out here that have to be licensed in Utah and then in Arizona and then in California. Because we're a bank institution, they all fall under the umbrella of the bank.
And you will have their mortgage ID number if you need it for something, but it's on every pre-qualification letter, or well, I'm still saying it, pre-approval letter.
I don't know, but it's a strike against you.
Yeah.
Never get
So I can't get Hawaii going that way, right? Can't get Hawaii going that way. So it looks like I'm stuck with Kansas.
But you know, Kemp, I do need somebody in Nebraska.
So if we go back to the beginning of PowerPoint, I meant to just leave my name up there. No. But it's all good.
So can I go? I am going to hop in here real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I want to make sure that everybody understands what Kemp's saying, right? We have you aligned with a team of originators, okay? And you can use those originators. And what we see is about 60 to 70% of the time, when you get either pre-approved or one that's not pre-approved, you should be using somebody on that team. Okay? The reason it's not 100% is because we are open across the country, and depending on where that person's starting and ending up, they call at different times, right? You may have somebody retiring to Salt Lake City, but right now they live in Washington, D.C. They pick up the phone, they're going to get whatever loan officer is up next in the queue, right? Now we're really working on, if they say, yes, I'm moving to Salt Lake City, it hopefully moves into the queue for somebody on the team we have assigned for you, right? But depending on what time of day they're making the phone call or the inquiry will depend on whether it drops into that or not, okay? So we're going to tell you today, here's a team of LOs to work with, pick a couple, do that, but know you're still going to get pre-approvals that are going to come in with a different LO assigned to it. And when it's assigned, it's assigned. There's no switching it, okay? But if you have an issue in there, you can still go to the sales manager and say, I need help with this file, right? That sales manager will then take that information and go figure out what's going on, talk to the other sales manager, figure out whose pipeline it's in. That makes sense? And we'll help you get it solved, right? The sales manager is the point of contact for your account.
Yes.
So, once a loan officer is assigned, you will not switch them to our team.
Correct.
Or the.
Right, and we're going to explain why in a few seconds.
Yep.
There is a reason behind it. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to explain that in a little bit why. But yes, we can't switch from me to Alex or whatever. It has to stay with that LO. If there's a problem, then that's a different story. But as long as life is going good, everything is good, it has to stay with that LO. And I'll explain that in a few seconds. Yes, ma'am.
No question.
Oh, I thought
She
you
just
were
twirled.
going. Oh, okay.
Just twirling the pins. He's like, let's go. Come on, keep going.
We're only in hour 2. You're going to be here 4.5 hours. Okay. Here's how you guys get leads. One of the easiest way that you get lead is if they're pre-approved through us already, they call in the USAA, they get pre-approved, we go through, and actually this is where I'll answer your question. A part of it, and then I'll answer it towards the end, so you actually get your question answered in 2 parts. So they call in the USAA, they speak to Vince, Vince is the LO, and he pulls their credit. He gets the whole story of why they're buying. Before the LO types anything besides making sure that they're a member, the LO has a bunch of questions to ask. Where are you moving? Why are you moving? What's causing the move? Just to kind of build that story, build that relationship with that member, right? So the member's going to explain, the member's going to open up their vault and explain all these different reasons why they're buying, what they're doing, how they're doing it, all these different things, right? So now, as the LO, as Vince, the LO, is setting up the file, all those notes are going in the file. So he's telling the processor, basically, and the underwriter, how he came up with that number, how they were pre-qualified for that amount, why they're pre-qualified for that amount, pre-approved for that amount, all those different things, right? So the LO knows the story. Now, I'm going to answer part of your question, and then I'm going to get to the other part. So part of it now is the reason why we don't want to switch that is because Vince has been on the phone with that member for about an hour and a half doing that root canal. Now, if he gets a new LO, he's got to tell that story or they have to tell that story all over again when I just explained it to Vince, a couple days ago. Now I got to explain how this happened, what we're doing, why we're doing it, because it's not as simple as calling in and we're 5 minutes later we're done. It's normally about a 45 minutes to an hour conversation because we want to make sure that all I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So that's part of the reason why we don't switch LOs. Okay. Again, if the member has has a complaint, then that's a different story. But for the most part, we want to keep them with that same LO. Okay, make sense? Okay. So they're pre-approved, ready to go. I said pre-approved, so that's cool. I'm happy. They're pre-approved. They're ready to go. We send them over. We talk about the Real Estate Rewards Network. Before we even pre-approve them, before we even pull their credit, we ask them, do they have an agent? Are you working with an agent? If they say yes, we carry on smartly. We get the information. If they say no, then there's a little blurb that we have to sell the Real Estate Rewards Network to them. Offer it. Offer it. Right? We have to offer it. I said sell. We have to offer it. But truly, we are selling, right? So that's the kind of business that we're in. But we're trying to get them into the network because of the advantages. So we're selling you all back there, right? We're selling you. So we want to make sure they're good to go. So at that point, they go through Cardis. We do a warm transfer over to Cardis. While they're on the phone, we send them over to Cardis, then Cardis sends them over to Heather. Then Heather, you give them to whoever's up next, right? Or whatever your criteria for finding an agent, okay? So that's one way. Another way that they can come to you, and I'm going quickly because we've been up here for a while, so if you have questions, tell me to slow down or whatever, but I just want to move a little quickly because I'm joking about the 4 hours. So.
It's funny.
So another way that you guys, how many people have ever gotten a member and they weren't pre-approved at all? You just got a name, right, along with their information, but they never talked to anybody from USAA or ABC Mortgage, right? So this is how you get them. They can go online at USAA.com, play around, and pretty much sign themselves up, right? Bypass the mortgage product. They go in, play around, hit the button, it goes to Cardis. Cardis comes out, it comes to Heather. Heather gives it to you, and now you got Alex Richardson, want to buy a house here in Utah, and whatever, right? So at this point, the ball is in your court. What do you do at this point? After today's lesson, you will do what? There you go, right? Very good. You're paying attention. Very nice. So that's how, I just want you to understand how you're getting them without a pre-approval. So they're going online by themselves, right? And they're doing it. So we at USAA have no idea that they're in the market to buy a house at all. They just come straight to you, right? Another way that you get them without pre-approval is through your agent selection tool, right? AST, to where they go online, they look at your profile, and they pick someone, and they call you, and they come to you without anybody. And actually, you won't even know, right? Right?
Well,
so Heather won't know until you tell them or something.
I'll
right?
go on July 4th, and Diana will know all the other times.
Okay. Okay. So there we go. So at that point, they come to you through AST, and they're not pre-approved through USAA. At this point, what would you do?
Tell them about USAA, give them the information to contact you.
Very nice. Very nice, right? So we would love for you to do that. So we would hope you would do that because we are changing our processes. And again, I want to reiterate it, so I want you to hear it again. If they are in the network, in order for to get their cash bonus, they do not have to use USAA Mortgage. They do not. Okay, I want you to understand that. They can pay cash, they can use ABC Mortgage, it doesn't matter, right? Our role here, my role, Alex's role, is just to promote the network. Promote the mortgage. Vince is to promote the network, right? We just want to let you know that we're good at what we do. We've gotten a whole lot better. We got room to grow, of course. We just would love for you to just give us a shot. Give us a shot. But again, two separate things. You guys can use ABC Mortgage, and they go into the program, and they will get their benefit. No harm, no foul.
So does this make sense, right? So yeah, I left out, when I put this together, the thing I left off was you have to envision a big cloud of members at the top, right? And that's the funnel. How do they drop in? Sometimes they come to the mortgage company, sometimes they just drop in on their own into the referral network, which then pushes them to Cardis, right? The one on the left is the one that I get from most agents that you want. It's the one that they've talked to the advocate at Cardis. They are pre-approved. We know a lot about them, and it drops in your lap, and you're like, I like this one, right? Then you go to the one in the middle, and the one in the middle has a little bit of information, but no pre-approval. It's okay. You like that one, but it's not as good as having one that's pre-approved and you're ready to go. Then you get to the third one, which just drops right into you, right? And that one has really no information. You've got to go do all the legwork on it. Now, why is that one there? Why is the third one there?
They can choose us.
Yes, so this is the one, and I'll encourage all of you to go back out and talk with Heather and look at your profile that you put out there, because when it came out, everybody just said, here's my profile, right? Really look at your profile, because our members, as a whole, 12 million of them, are used to doing things online at USAA. Okay, that's how we're done. Banking, everything, done online, right? So they are going to go in here, and the reason, we had a lot of internal conversation around should we get them pre-approved before we kick them down to an agent, right? And at the end of the day, what we decided was speed the lead. Get them to you all as quickly as possible so you can do what you do. Yep. Right? Do what you do. Here they are, go do what you do. It's a little bit different than what the traditional lead has always been, right? Where coming pre-approved and you know what you have. This one you got to do a little legwork, but it's getting to you very quickly. And if you all have used it, the 1, the 2, and then when you hit 5, what happens when you hit 5?
Somebody's in.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the member's like, wow, I didn't know you were going to call me this time. I'm not ready for this, right? Right? And then you need to keep on for like 30 seconds, I think, right? Or if you're leaving a message, it's going to be a long range, right? You got to get going. 31 seconds in mind, right?
And they're like, it's July 4th, why are you calling me?
But the one on the right has become more and more popular every month. Okay? So I'm going to go back and encourage you all to look at your profile. And if you have any testimonials, I was sitting with a, not to be named, other organization that's part of Realogy with one of the Realo directors, and he was telling me, he goes, yeah, I'm already seeing an uptick in the AST side of it. He goes, I even went in to see who's getting the leads, and what I found was, he goes, if there were 30 leads in there, 25 of them went to one person.
Because of their profile.
Because of their profile, and he goes, then I went and looked at their profile. Here was their profile, here's everybody else's profile, the generic stuff, and then this one over here who's getting all the leads had all the testimonials in there. I work with this agent, right? So I'm going to encourage you to go back and relook at what your profile is and think about, if I'm a consumer, what do I want to see? And make sure it's there, because as much as I like the one on the left, and I will tell you, the one on the left that comes through pre-approved with all information from a mortgage perspective, we close that business 74% of the time. So we really like the one on the left. But the one on the right is where a lot of this is going, right? It's the online version of it.
I think it's better because they like you and you're already, they're easier to work with because they picked you.
They picked you.
And they already like you, so you're not trying to build.
That's right.
So we're also seeing 80% of the time this sticks with you all. Because they picked you. Mistake or not, it's their mistake, not someone else's mistake. So you have a stickiness factor with this agent selection tool as well, right? So there's good things about all of them, but just know those couple things, right? I like the ones on the left because those stick with us on the mortgage side. What we're asking for you all to think about is when they come through and they're not pre-approved, we can give you an LO to call that you can get to know, you can start to have those conversations with, start to feel comfortable working with them.
So that's when you can use your.
That's when you can use you want every single time I could use the same one.
Yeah.
It's the ones that come in pre-approved and already have the loan officer that sometimes it'll be there, sometimes it won't, right? That makes sense?
Is this profile that you're referring to, is with Zap, that same
Yes.
profile?
Yes, I can have that. We're gonna talk about it as soon as we're done with that presentation, just for,
Yeah.
Good stuff, right? There's another way that you also will get them, but we will know, and we changed our process about a couple months ago, is that our members can go online and get themselves pre-approved already, right? But the one thing that we changed at USAA, as soon as they hit submit, LO is going to call them within minutes to verify that all that stuff is correct, okay? So that's another way that we're getting them, but you'll get them pre-approved because they went online to do that, yes.
I really do have that.
Yeah, okay. Never mind, go ahead.
So when you do the pre-approval and you send us, we get that little pre-approval letter that we
Yep.
submit with the offer.
Yep.
My question is, have they submitted their income information? Has their income been verified?
Okay.
Has their credit been checked? Because there's been a few times that I've actually written an offer, the clients have paid for an inspection.
Yep.
And we're in the last steps, and then I get a thing saying, well, they don't really qualify.
Okay.
I'm like, wow, that,
Yep.
this is really important to know at the beginning of the game, so they're not spending money on
That's right.
inspections, et cetera.
Sure.
And wasting
Okay.
everything.
And we're going to go ahead and answer that right now.
Sure, okay.
Yep, I'll go ahead and answer that right now. So this is what we do at USAA. Member calls in, we call it a member story, right? We get all their information, we find out why, when, where, what, how. And then at that point in our pre-approval process, we pull their credit, we give a tri-merge, we pull from all three credit bureaus, we use their middle score. And with USAA, for most products except for our first-time home buyer product, you need a 660. But with USAA, the beginning of it is a 620. Okay? Minimum credit score is a 620. And except for jumbo, that's a little higher as well. But for VA and normal conventional, it's a 620 credit score. With that, we ask them all their income information. Okay? If they're in the military, we can pull it. It's pretty easy, right? It's public knowledge. But for the most part, we ask them all their information. If they work for Walmart or whatever, we ask them basically how much they make, if they're if they have their tax returns, if they're self-employed. What we do is we ask them to pull their tax returns, and then there's a number at the bottom. We said, after you write everything off, what's that number? And our LOs are trained to ask that question, okay? If they don't have their tax returns in front of them, then we ask them, after taxes, what do you make? What did you write, after you wrote everything off? We pretty much ask them as much as possible. Now, we cannot ask them to provide us any type of documents until we get the intent to proceed. Okay, ITP, you might have heard ITP. And we don't get ITP at USAA until we have a contract. So right now, our pre-approvals, and also we also go through desktop underwriting through Fannie Mae to make sure that just because they have a 620 credit score, they still may not get a pre-approval letter from USAA.
So is that new?
No, we've been doing it probably for about 2 years now, and what happened was, before I left, it was called pre-qual, and then we just changed it to pre-approval, so that's why I'm stuck in the pre-qual stage, is that when we went to legal with our pre-approval process, or our pre-qual process back then, they considered that a true pre-approval, because we do pull all 3 credit bureaus, and we do run it through desktop underwriting Fannie Mae. So if the member has a 619 credit score, they do not get a pre-approval letter. We don't say, okay, we know in 3 months you're going to be better, so we'll go ahead and give it to you. We will not do that. It's either yes or no. Even if they have a 750, if it don't meet the criteria for programs, we can't do anything. It has to go through desktop
Something else is
underwriting.
happening during that time where you're getting that pre-approval letter and then you're getting ready to do your financial and your last steps and then they're coming back and saying they really don't qualify. I don't know what's happening there.
I can't answer all those questions, but as a manager, when I was there, a lot of stuff was overstated when we talked to the members. A lot of people truly don't know how much they make, right? If they've been on their job for a long period of time, they either overestimate how much they make or they underestimate. Hopefully they would underestimate, but they overestimate. I make roughly $7,000 a month, something like that. And then when we finally see their paycheck stubs, it's $59.50. Or they have income in there that we can't use. Or, I mean, there's so many things in it, but I will assure you this. We ask them so much until we can only push them but so far, but we truly have to ask. We have to ask. We double check, triple check, as far as them telling us. That's just life, right? But we cannot require anything until we have an intent to proceed. If they want to send us something on their own.
The interesting thing in the mortgage business, right? We offer what is a true pre-approval, right? It's income that they're telling us. We're taking that information, we're pulling their credit, we're putting it in there, and we're running it through desktop underwriting. Desktop underwriter comes back and says, yes, if this information holds up, this should get approved. That is a true pre-approval. What the industry has done is it has gone one more step. And this is where everybody's at now, right? Nobody's at an actual pre-approval anymore. What they want now, and what it's gone to, and it's the competitive market side of it, right? I've got a lot of offers in on this, so I'm going to take my best offer, is not only are they pre-approved, but now everybody wants to see that the income and assets has been reviewed, right? Which is a function of underwriting, right? So it's a pre-underwrite, right? So if you really, so we have a true pre-approval, right? We are not to the point where we are verifying income and assets yet, okay? Now, that's why I say this is a function of the industry, right? It has moved to that next step in the very competitive marketplace that just about everywhere in the country is. I've got 10 offers on this. Which one? Well, this is a pre-approval. This one, they've looked at income and assets. I can tell you as a mortgage guy, ask who's looking at the income and assets.
Right.
And also ask how quickly they're looking at the income and assets. If you're working with a mortgage broker or a loan officer, let me just generically, or a loan officer, and they get you a pre-approval within 24 hours that they've looked at income and assets, I would probably question that. Because what they have done, what they're telling you is, I have pre-approved this individual, they have gotten me all of their documentation in 24 hours and I've looked at it. Sound a little fishy? There are those people that have their stuff. Boom, no doubt about it, okay? But I want to tell you, I want you to be careful about it. And also there's a lot of agents I work with that have this preconceived notion that underwriting is the one doing the looking. The majority of the time, it's just a loan officer looking at it. Okay? We are getting ready to pilot that next step. USAA is a big boat, it takes a little time. Don't get too excited about it. But we also know that the competition is moving there. We're trying to get that needle there as well. And so we're going to pilot a pre-approval where we're looking at income and assets. Because that's what everybody's doing. So we're trying to match that. But we're a step behind everybody. Probably always have done, okay? So that's my little thing on pre-approval. Have some confidence in knowing that it is a credit and DU pre-approval. And on the side note, that pre-approval letter that comes out for the members, right? It goes into their USAA
Portal.
Right? And so if you don't have it and need it, your client can get it for you. The member can just go into the portal and get it for you. The other thing that the member can do is, let's say they're pre-approved for 300,000, but they only need 280. They can go in and make that 280. They can't go up, can't go to 320 or 350, but they can lower it if that's what you would want them to do. And they can print that out. Your loan officer can do the same thing, just a matter of who you want to go to quicker.
And they can do that 24/7. They can do that all the time.
Yes. Let's use whiteout if we need to go higher.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Whiteout. Nice. How are y'all doing with the pre-approval stuff? It's a big issue around the country. We're well aware of it. I just want to try to clarify where we're at and then where we hope to be. And there's even been talk that it is a pre-underwrite. If we get to the point where we can make that happen, we're beyond the industry right now. We're right there where we want to be.
And how
I'm gonna hold off on that a little bit, right? Because that's, it's just, any mortgage company trying to get there, it takes a while. I know like maybe 2 companies that actually do an underwrite, a true underwrite, pre-underwrite. So that's the pre-approval side. Questions?
Okay, Alex gave you guys these cards for the Agent Helpline. This is for you guys, right? Please put this number in your phone. If you had the old number from 2 years ago, the number has changed. This is something totally different, totally different. This is the Agent Helpline. This is for you. This is for you. It's agent, not our member. Please do not give the member this number. There will be somebody working the same hours as the LOs. You will get a live person if you need them on this Agent Helpline. This Agent Helpline is for you. If you can't get in contact with your LO, you can't get in contact with your processor, then you call the Agent Helpline and somebody can help you out. Okay? How many people have called you prior to today? How many people have called USAA more than 4 times in order to try to find somebody to answer the phone? Okay. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I want you to only make 3 phone calls. Okay? The first one is going to be to wherever the file is in the process. So if it's just the LO, so we'll just use the LO as example. You call the LO, and the LO doesn't answer the phone. At the bottom of the LO's email is their manager's information as well. Give that manager a call. If you cannot reach the manager, then I want you to call the Agent Helpline, because you will always get a live body. Please do not make more than 4 phone calls. You only need to make 3, because you're going to get a live person when you call here. Okay? They're open 8 to 8. Now, I have to give a little caveat because of some shifting going on in Phoenix. So Saturday, Phoenix is only open, the help desk is only open till 7:30 on Saturday.
There goes Alaska.
But that's our time, right? 7:30 for now, just till 7:30, and then on Sunday until 6:30. And that's just and it could change tomorrow. But for the most part, we are open from 8 to 8. And you will get a live person. So please do not make more than 3 phone calls, because you will get a live person. Wherever the file is in the process, that's who I want you to call. So if in the processing space, and it's a processing question, then call the processor. Don't call the LO. Call the processor.
Kim, do you recommend calling or emailing?
That's my next point, right? So our LOs are on the phone all the time. So let's start with the LO part, right? Our LOs are on the phone all the time bringing you business, because we're getting calls in from our members trying to bring you business. The best way to reach your LO is with an email. That's numero uno. If you need something, please send them an email, because they can multitask while they're on the phone. The email pops up while they're on the phone. So put in that email what you want to know. Please put in the member name. If you know on the pre-approval letter, it'll be a number. It'll start with the number 300 and then whatever. That's the loan number. If you have that with you, then put that in there. If you don't have it with you, but just put the name and whatever the questions that you want to ask, because we have to go through their portal and try to find the exact loan, right? If you don't have that information, or if you know their member number, that would be perfect as well. But the number you get from Carter's, that's like a 94 something. That number does us no good. That's like your rec number or something. That number we don't. That doesn't associate anything. But for the most part, if you can give us his name, the first and last name, and the state, something close, then we can figure it out. Okay. But email them exactly what you want to know. The same thing with your processors are not on the phone as much, but they could be. The best way to reach someone at USAA is to email them. So here's the email. When you get your pre-approval letter, the email is not on there. For a USAA member or for USAA employees, it's their first name dot last name at USAA.com. First name dot last name at USAA.com. And that's how you'll reach someone. Any questions so far? Okay.
Why would they call the helpline?
Why would you call the helpline?
For help?
What kind of help?
What kind of help?
What kind of help?
Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
It's the weekend, you need a pre-approval letter, and maybe the LOs or the processors you're working with don't work on the weekends.
Okay. So yes, you can. Now, are you saying you need a pre-approval letter right now today from the member, or that has not been pre-approved, or he was pre-approved, or she was pre-approved?
Not pre-approved.
Okay, so let's start with not. So you wouldn't call the help desk to have a member get pre-approved, right? This is for you. This is the agent help desk. This is only for you to get information about a member or the file in processing, right? This is only for the agent. We do not want the members to call. This is only designed for you because we couldn't handle members and agents at the same time. We'll be back to, they just call the 800 number in the sky, right? So this is for you. So if the member, let's say for instance, you are calling Alex as the loan officer, all right? And you couldn't get Alex, right? And you sent an email and Alex never responded. Then you call Vince, Alex manager, and neither one of them are responding. Then you call the agent help desk, okay? Or helpline.
Yeah, so I tend to think, and in the Cardis training, I put it in the Cardis training for this year, just to help everybody understand what types of things you'd call the helpline for, right? So, hey, did the appraisal come in yet? Right? You can get in 20 seconds, you can get an answer on did the appraisal come in, right? Versus sending an email. Go back and look and see. Yes, I think conditional approvals, those types of things. There's a list of about 10 or 12 good items of why you would call these folks instead of emailing or calling an LO and waiting for the response, right? So think of this as more the quick and simple, I just need to know, right? And if they've got more detail, they'll give it to me, but if not, that's fine. I just need a quick yes or no type of stuff, right? That's what that helpline's there for. And they pick up. That's the beautiful thing about it, right? And then they do have additional information on the file, right? So they can look at them. I will also, it reminds me though to tell you is USAA, as you have probably experienced, is very protective of member information, right? So do not be offended if you talk to a helpline or somebody at USAA and they will not give you information about the member, right? So no income information, no asset information, right? It won't happen. Now, they can give it if the member allows it, right? So sometimes it's a good idea if you want to get some information, have the member on the phone with you, and then let them say, yes, it's okay to get, right? So just keep those things in mind. But that's the agent helpline. Make sense?
So no more of these 5 calls, right? It should take you 3 at the most, because you will always
No
get
black
somebody
button,
alive, right?
No 800 number, just, get these people.
And the great thing with our LOs, and I told you that from when you're getting them, is now they have direct numbers. So you will have their direct number. They will send you an introduction email. Also, you should be getting an introduction email from your processors to introduce themselves as well. So no longer will you get that, I don't know who to call, who to talk to. Every stage of the process, you're going to know who to talk to. Every LO should reach out to you to introduce themselves and let you know that I'm working with Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And the processor will reach out to you and introduce themselves, letting you know their times of hours of operation and their direct line as well. On every email, you will always have the manager's email address as well, or contact information. So even if you email the manager and the manager emails you back, on the bottom of that email's manager, or on the bottom of that email is going to be their manager's manager or their director, pretty much. So you're always going to have a point of contact at USAA. You like that?
Yes.
All right. Cool. Good to go.
Very nice.
Huh?
It's a lot of information, right? We're giving you a lot of stuff right now. So just kind of soak it in.
Here's something I think you guys will like. And again, remember at the beginning I told you that we've hired a lot of people, including myself, Alex, Vince as well. We've hired a lot of people from the outside coming into our organization. And some of the good things that we're bringing from the outside, we're sticking them with what we can put together with our LOs here. And one of the things that we're doing now is everyone at USAA is salary or hourly, even our LOs. but now they're also going to be compensated for met members close date.
Nice.
They're going to be compensated for met members close date. Met members desired close date, MCD, right? Met members desired close date. So now you're going to have 5 people in that one file that's going to have skin in the game that wants to get this file closed. So the first person is going to be the LO. The second person is going to be that LO manager, gets paid as well. The processor, processing senior, and the processing manager. The processing senior is pretty much the supervisor of all processors, so they'll know exactly what's going on with that one particular file you may want to know about, where the manager actually just manages a whole big team of processors. So you have 5 people that want to make sure that this file gets to the closing on time. What do you think about that? Not bad, right? Now, here's the key that you want to remember. I'm not going to tell you how much, and I'm not going to tell you how many. In order for them to get their compensation per month, they have to have so many closed per month. Okay? So if you get a pre-approval from us and you take that member to ABC Mortgage, our 5 people might not make their numbers because of that one file. We have a lot of a lot of LOs that are missing their compensation off of one number, one file that went elsewhere. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I'm not saying you always have to work with USAA. We would love for you to keep them with USAA, but again, they're being compensated on met members desired close date, but they have to have so many per month to do that. Make sense?
Yeah, so we have members and we encourage them to go with USAA, but
Yep.
they'll choose to go with someone else.
Okay.
Is there any way that that loan officer can maybe reach out to them again?
Very much so.
You know, and kind of follow up and help?
We would love for you to do that. We would. I don't know if couple years ago you guys remember something called Save the Deal, right? We used to have that Save the Deal thing. To me, that would be considered a Save the Deal. We would love for you to do that. If our members are apprehensive about something, have our LOs give a call, right? Have our LOs call them, and our LOs are trained to do that. Also, our LOs can call the selling agent if you want. Okay, if the sellers don't want to accept or they have questions about this pre-approval, our LOs are trained to talk to the selling agent as well. So that's something else that has changed. We're listening, right? So please, definitely. Okay. If you know anything about the member where certain things are going on, or even about the property, let us know as well, right? That can help with the closing, help go a lot smoother. Okay.
So we're gonna lose a few people at 3.
No. Okay. So that's pretty cool because we were giving the money out at 3. So that's all right. That works. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Hey, let me do this. Let me do this because I don't want them to miss this last part here. Here's closing costs. Okay, I just go here and then I can go back to the rest. The people that are leaving at 3, I really want to get into this. Okay. Someone, I think it was you. I'm not sure. No, I think it was the other lady. She left. She said we charge our members a lot on VA loans, right? And I made a big joke at the beginning that we do charge a lot, and actually we don't. We don't charge anything on a VA loan. We do not charge an origination fee. We do not charge an underwriting fee. We do not charge a processing fee. On VA loans right now until further notice, we are not charging any fees to USAA. Now there's third-party fees, appraisals and title company and all that kind of stuff. But as far as USAA income charging the member, on our VA loans, we are not charging any origination fee, nothing. Okay. So I'm glad we were here because that's a misnomer, right? That USAA is charging higher amounts for a VA loan. We're not charging anything. Okay, we're not charging anything. Now, I will caution you this. On your CD, you may see an origination charge, but look in parentheses, it might be where the member bought down points. And that's where we have to put it. So in parentheses, it will say discount points. But as far as a true origination fee, we do not charge one. Okay? So now when you're trying to figure out what your closing cost is going to be, it's all third-party fees. It's whatever your title company charges, it's whatever the taxes are, whatever the insurance, whatever. Right? Yes, do you have a question?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I have a member that was quoted about $14,000
Yeah.
in closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got a quote from some local
Okay.
mortgage companies.
Yep.
Half that.
Sure.
So I'm just wondering, are they overestimating some of the fees?
Always.
Because if they are, they're scaring the members.
Okay. So that's where we would need that feedback from you, because let's just take it as a VA loan, right? So as of today, you know we're not doing anything. So at the end of the day, when they go to the closing table, that number is going to be the same. whether ABC Mortgage has it or we have it, that you all know the closing cost is going to be the same. So this is where we need your help, okay, to educate the member. Right now, USAA is not charging you a thing. So whatever USAA said and whatever this member says, or excuse me, whatever ABC Mortgage is, at the end of the day, this is what you can bank on. You know what, you probably use the same title company or or lawyer, right? You know what they charge, so that's easy. The taxes, you can figure that out, right? That's easy. All the other stuff, you guys can pretty much shake that out and say, this is kind of where we are right now. But this is what I need from you. This is what I'm asking. If we are that much over, because the last time I checked, we were probably within 5 to 10%, but if we're that much over, can you please let me know? Or you can send it to Heather, and Heather let me know, because that kind of information we truly need to bring back. But we shouldn't be, they should not be half. We've tightened our systems up a lot better than that. So please let me know if that runs the case, all right? So on our conforming loan, that's just a 5% down program or more. That's normal conventional. We are charging 1% origination on that. Okay. Again, on all of our fees, we do not charge an underwriting fee or any type of, there's nothing else extra in there. Okay. I'm going quickly through this. Our first-time home buyer program is a 97%, where they put down 3%. It's going to be 97% finance. Lender paid MI on this program. First-time home buyer, both spouses do not have to be a first-time home buyer, only one. A first-time home buyer is anyone that has not had home ownership in the last 3 years. They are now eligible to become a first-time home buyer. On this program, I think the credit score is a 660. If you have someone that is not pre-approved through USAA and you think they're going to fit the home buyer program, then you can call your LO and just find out what the credit score is. But I think it's 660. And again, that's lender paid MI. High balance and jumbo, I think out here your conforming loan limit is $455,100. So anything above that, we go up to $3 million. And the reason I know that is because my house was 2.5. So I knew that that's what we do. So trust me, if my house was 2.5, I would not be standing in front of you all today. But the great thing about our jumbo product is we only charge $12.95, one flat fee. We don't charge, most companies charge an origination fee. So you can imagine on a $700,000 loan, that's $7,000 that a company would charge. At USAA, we only charge $12.95, and that's all inclusive right there. All right, as far as fees that we charge is $12.95. So does that help?
Mm-hmm. So do you guys, up where I live, a lot of people do USDA lending.
Okay.
And they're from USAA.
Yep.
But the last few times I've tried to, you guys don't do that type of lending.
That's correct.
You might want to look into that.
Yeah, and we have that. We have a list of things that are on there. USDA is huge, right? Yeah. So we don't, and if so, we try to move them into this because as you know, with USDA, it's a lot onto it, even though they do get that extra 2 or 3%. But we try to compare apples to apples. Now, if they don't have the money, that's a totally different story. Then we can't do anything. Heather brought something up to my attention that you guys have a first-time homebuyer grant, right? And we weren't able to accept that, but I'm going to take that back with me 2 days from now. When I go back to Phoenix, I'll take that back and get some information back to you on it. I'm not saying we can or we can't. As of today, we cannot. But because we can't
get into the DPA or the grant.
But we'll be able to take it back and we can look at it. It may. The great thing, again, is a lot of times. The great thing is we have a lot of new people coming into USAA asking questions on why don't we, why aren't we, right? So now we're actually starting to bubble these up to people that can say, well, we didn't know about it, right? We didn't know, right? You can't do anything if you didn't know. Yep. So now our role is to bring that back. And you saw that map. Something else I wanted to add about that map. There's 6 of us, Alex, is it? 6 of us? So there's 6 of us in each region, 1 person per region, giving this exact same presentation, not as good as me, of course, but they're doing the exact same presentation. Actually, they're probably way better than me. But making sure that the agents understand the exact same thing, right? So we're getting that knowledge from everybody, from every single state, making sure that we can meet your needs. Okay? Are we good? Did that help you out for trying to figure out closing costs a little bit?
That's a lot of info, right?
Now we know who to ask when we have questions.
There you go, right? Please
Point
do.
of contact, who to call.
Yeah.
We'll send out the loan officer list to you, so you'll have that. Pick a couple of them and get to know them.
Yep.
right?
Please do.
Really, pick a couple of them, get to know them.
So can we get a picture with you guys for social media?
Yeah, you have to talk to my rep. I have my agent. You have to go. It's just a lot of paperwork.
I'm just wondering if you want to just push back in the chair and do a picture that way? Because you're already kind of there, or we can do it kind of that. What do you want to do?
Do it for the screen so it says USAA on the back.
Yeah, but then the lights will be weird. I would turn it off.
And of course, I didn't wear my USAA shirt. Do you believe I don't have a long sleeve? I do not have a long sleeve USAA shirt.
Well, I guess we're probably thinking of like this way we have mountains.
Until 5 years from now.
Yeah. It's just,
Right? And this person's like, a long.
Yep, now I know why I won't travel anymore with Jeremiah or Kenny.
Throw you on the bus.
yeah. Slide back. So we can all see and all you guys are in front. Okay, back row stand. Cowboys, the back, stand
How do you want us to sit here?
I just want levels. Levels.
Where do you want to go?
You guys are gonna get right now.
You guys are going to get it. Yeah, right in front of you. Oh, we can just get in anywhere.
You guys squish it in here.
Let's have a chair.
Hawaii.
Yes, right.
Oh, we gotta squeeze it.
I can't get y'all. I don't see you
Sorry, you
guys.
can leave me out.
Scooch this way. I know you can. Scoot your chair.
Thank you all for spending some time with us
All
today.
right, I can only see as far as John Dion.
Well, that's perfect.
That is it.
All right, 1, 2. Oh, lean in. 3. 1, 2. Nope, we're gonna leave it that way. Got it? Good? Okay. Now, don't go anywhere for 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Thank you all. You know where, if you have questions, give us a ring. You got my card, you got his card.
Yep. I got one more thing to go over with you guys. I was gonna do a few things, but we're just gonna make sure we get.
Materials, things you can hand out.
All right, here's what we want. So, you know how we were talking about the AST functionality, your profile? You need to update your ZAP profile. Super, super important. Not only just for your regular business, but for this business especially, okay? And then to boost your KPI, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so just with Zap, hopefully everybody can log in. If you can't, let me know. You want to complete your profile as much as you can. So add a YouTube video, make sure your bios are in there. You can edit them yourselves. You don't need to let us know, or just edit them yourselves. So put tour insights. Do any of you guys do that? If you go tour home, add an insight about it, like boost your KPI. Connect your social media. Anything that you can do to your Zap profile that would add experience to it. So make sure that all is up to date as much as you can, as complete as it is. Give us a call if you have any questions, or give me a call if you have any questions. I know we had some agents that were having trouble logging in. We got that situated. So add follow-up plans to every single one of your USAA.
Who knows their login right now for 21 Online?
Even if they're on hold, long-term, add a USAA follow-up lead. No longer a regular buyer lead, just USAA.
I know.
Because they are available now. I think other than.
Oh, okay, then you don't know.
Those are the first couple things, and then have the app, the Zap app on your phone, and just log in every single day. That's like the biggest thing, and I think that's the easiest thing to do.
Where are you, Heather?
That's for the Zap.
I don't know. Is that your sign-in?
And then,
Can you put testimonials in there, in the profile?
it should, yeah, from Zap, but you can pick
Okay.
which ones.
Yeah.
So you have two options. You can either do the real satisfied that come in, or the Zap surveys, I think they're called. So try to pick the real satisfied.
So I have a question about that, because I went in there and I added my testimonials,
Mhm.
and then I went and I was messing around with something and I clicked on something,
Mhm.
and then I went to view the website and they disappeared.
Okay.
And then I tried to go back to what it was before and they still would not show up.
Okay.
So I think the testimonials that go on automatically, they'll come on automatically, are the ones through,
Real satisfied.
yeah, Real Satisfied.
But
And
there's
those
an
go onto our
option in
website? Is that our profile?
That's your Zap
Yeah.
profile
So-
website, yeah,
So I
that's
picked
your
this one, they
website.
disappeared, and then I picked
Okay.
the other
Um,
option to get the real satisfied option, and they didn't come back.
They're gone forever.
Well,
Hey, is the profile they're putting in Zap, is it the same one they would use for the AST?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So what happened when everything changed recently is we lost your words, okay? Most of you should still have, you have words though. I mean, most of
You
them
have
are
words.
gone. And we can't do it for you like we did before.
Does that mean in your bio?
Your bio.
So do we have to just go back on our website and check that out?
Go
Where it
in
says
and
click
check
on
it.
the
When you
website?
go into your Zap, I was just trying to show you, it's very, very easy. When you go into your Zap log, you log into Zap.
21 online to
20
start.
online.
Then
and
learn is that,
Go to Zap,
and the logins are different.
and you go to your website, okay? And then you can just add your words. It's
I
super
don't go
easy.
to 21 Online, I just go to Zap.
That's fine, you can do that.
Can you do it that way?
You can get through Century 21 Online or just directly through Zap. Either way, but the important thing that we're seeing, and especially with this AST functionality, is the more you log in, the more you use it, the more information you put in there about yourself, the higher your score is, the more you're going to get noticed. Okay? And that's like pretty much company-wide what we're seeing is happening. People that are using it, all of a sudden they're showing up everywhere. So get in there and do it. We are putting together a video that we'll send out to you, and it'll just be piece by piece. Like, here's how you update your profile.
Oh, thank you.
Okay? Then here's how you put in, here's how you use this feature and this feature. So we've got Russ working on it right now. So we will start sending that out. I just want you to get in there tonight, okay, or tomorrow morning, and just make sure your profile has a picture and your words are there. That's step one. Call me if you have problems, or Diana.
Rich?
So I've gone to update my some of the leads in there. I don't know if anyone else has had a problem, but it just doesn't update them.
Yeah.
I'll say complete, and it just still says, well, you have 35.
You have to refresh.
Complete.
That's what I've had to do is go back and refresh it and it'll show me.
Had the same problem.
And if you still have that problem, send me the lead, because I can change the status on it, like a permanent status on it.
Well, today I did it, and it actually worked.
Oh.
Previous days it worked, so I just didn't know if it was consistent.
All right, so update, you hit complete, and then refresh.
That's what I've been having to
And
do.
if you're not still, if it's still showing, it's not.
I was doing it from the app and as well from the website.
Oh.
Neither of them were updating. It just lagged. It finally worked, but it just.
Just keep us posted if you're running into issues, so we can kind of research it for you. It sounds like ultimately it worked. Okay. What else did I miss?
Just with Zap, you can put updates, you can do what you need to do, but also send me the update through eReload. So anything pending or final sale, send me first the information, and then we'll move forward from there. So any updates still coming, everything has to go through eReload. You can still use Zap, log a call, send an email, but just send me the update through eReload.
Okay. One more thing.
Well, the affinity to the
What?
training.
Oh yeah, I'll tell them. So you know how important our algorithm referral goal is, right, Curtis? So we have 48 people on our team. We've sent 82 referrals, and we've only closed 18 as a team. So if everyone on our team would close 2 referrals, we would close 96 outbound referrals. Okay? So I just want to remind you, we're getting that business as a team, that Curtis broker business, the affinity business, all of that. If you're orange up here, you're on target. Like we just need one more closing from you or a few more cents. Okay, we've got 3 months to do it, 2.5 months. If you're green, you've already done it. So thank you. Good, congratulations. Good job. And if you're blue, we need you to make some efforts, okay? So we realize that it's basically a third, we expect a third of the referrals sent to close. That's why we've made your goal 6. So that's every other month we expect you to try to send an outbound referral, right? That just means you're talking about all the time. If you're talking about all the time, you're not gonna have trouble. We have people that are sending 10, you know, I mean, it's just whether or not you're talking about it. That, I know that is true. And so we expect a third of those to close, and that's why we're like send 6 or close 2, because some people will send 2, close 2, like they're just really qualified, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. It's really important. And then we've got training coming up in the fall. It'll be online. There's no fee. You'll need to do it. We'll release it on the 15th of November. You'll have a month to finish it. Okay. And so just know that you're still going to be required to do that online training. What else? Anything else?
Just points, I guess, where we're at.
I think I'll just do one last thing. We were joking about hitting 5, right? So I want you guys to know how good you're doing. You're doing really, really well. You're doing a lot of things really good. So thank you.
Yeah, actually, your mortgage conversion is very good compared to the nation as well. So
What is our mortgage conversion?
Right now, it's at 51%. So.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, really good. Well, in comparison, the national average for us is running about 44%.
Okay, good.
Maybe 45, somewhere in there. So you guys are actually very good.
Well,
one more, but you're very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
We need to be at 100, if anybody's asking.
That's the goal.
We're trying to get this. This is the satisfaction surveys that we were talking about. We realized we were really focused on the agent satisfaction, and that's looking really good. But we haven't been talking overall program satisfaction with the members. So we also need to talk to them about, you know, there's 2 things we want you to know what your overall satisfaction is with the program, and also I want to earn your highest ratings, right? So just kind of remember those are kind of 2 different things we're being tracked on, and just bring it to their attention that also this rating isn't the mortgage. They'll have a separate mortgage rating that they can give as well, which is going to be amazing because they're doing everything right now. All right. Okay. The next thing, our home finding conversion went down. It was at 57, and in 1 month went to 52. So there's a couple different factors in that. It doesn't mean you're not doing everything you can. You know, you're not doing anything right. But if they can't qualify for a mortgage, it's important that we know that. And what are some of the other reasons?
Well, even if they're long-term and they're working on their credit to qualify, if they're not in their price range, let us know. And also, you know, if the market's not letting them, whatever it is behind why they decided to rent, why they decided to do all these other things, if they're moved, canceled, or postponed, but really they're going to a different state, that's a good reason to let me know. It's not just, oh, they're not going to move right now. It's they're moving to a different state. We can't do anything about that. And so we're just trying to find a little bit more information about why it's not going to work out or why we weren't able to assist.
And it's the same thing with the mortgage, right? So we want to know why they didn't use that mortgage piece, if that happens. And if it's the rate, if it's the cost, if it's the, and again, we're going to be asking more questions about closeouts and about mortgages. Okay, so be aware of that. We're wanting to know more information. Also, this is the thing I think we can fix before the end of the year. The press the 5. Okay, how many have started doing that? Thank you, because we're gonna see that change. And we've got 2 points. We care about platinum around here, so we've got 2 points we can get just for that. So it's super. Every point matters. Every point counts. So any questions about that? Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for being here. Thanks for making the journey. So
thank you all for coming. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
And then my Union Park agents, if you guys received my email and can sign up for your one-on-ones right up the front desk. Yeah, thanks.
Hey, good. Can you turn my leads back on now?
Okay.
Ready to come back to work.
I'll do that today.
Thank you.
You know what? Check her. She said she's got